And then we'll one of these. As always, shout out to Carla Klein with this beautiful cam. So that is it. Joe Morreale in the house.
Morning.
Yeah.
How we doing? Thanks for having me, man.
So good, dude. Thanks for coming. This show is one of those shows where don't know who you are really. Go to a meeting the other day. You're in this big board meeting. It was really intimidating for me. So I'm there and you're one of many that's there. And I'm just locking eyes with you a lot. And I leave, you call me and you're on fire because I guess I stimulated something in you.
Bro, you have infectious energy. Not that I need more energy, but holy cow, you had me fired up that day.
So those that don't know this beautiful gentleman, husband.
Yes, sir.
Financial advisor. You're the money man. What are we going with?
Joe the money guy.
Joe the money guy. I love it.
We went with that. You coined that one, and I just took it and ran.
And then also now you've got 2 beautiful kids.
I have 2 kids. Yep, 7 and 5.
That photo was dope. That I usually just stole it. I thieved it on the Facebook. That was a good one. I usually try to crop people where it's like just them. But with that shot, I was like, "This is beautiful."
Man, it's a good snapshot of what's going on in my family. Between the dogs and the kids, and
it was rather recent.
Yes, it was just I think November of last year.
So thank you again. And then for those that also don't know, you are on the board at the YPG. Mm-hmm. Hence, that's where I met you. And dude, you've been. It's funny when people compliment me and they say like, "Hey, you energized me," or "You gave me an idea." I ran with it. I'm like, you don't know how much you've done for me because when we talked. You called me within 24, 48 hours of that?
Next morning, probably.
And I answered and I'm just like, I love that you loved it. And it made me feel good. So I appreciate you. I'm very excited to have you on. But here's what I'd like to do.
I'm excited to be at the table finally.
You're here. Now we did cheat a little bit. I did get to talk with you that day to get somewhat of a background. But for those that don't know, Joe Morreale, you come down from Jersey?
Jersey.
Boom.
Yes, sir.
And you came solo?
Yeah, I came down actually.
Remember 2 fists, they're going to get mad.
Yeah, sorry. Here we go.
And go like this will come because if you're really that, see?
There we go. Perfect. Yeah, I came down to go to Flagler College.
Okay, you didn't even tell me that part. Yeah. All right, give me a timestamp.
This was 2006. I graduated high school in 2006.
Okay.
Went to prep school up in New Jersey. If you want, I could rewind all the way back. It's kind of an interesting story.
If you got a story, bro, your story, my table, baby. As long as you're okay with the people. I like to go for the jugular, but if you got, I'm in it because I don't know it.
And I'll share it all, man. I have no problem with that. I'm an open book, and I'm super transparent. It's part of me being an Italian from Jersey.
There you go. Well, I think it gives people a better understanding of if they're going to work with you and invest their monies, they feel better about it anyway. So take it from the top, man.
Yeah, man. So I think it all really started. Honestly, I could attest a lot of my success and where I'm at now and what I'm doing to. Man, if I could boil it down to one thing, it's probably my wrestling career.
Really?
Yeah, to be honest. And I'll tell you why, started wrestling when I was 4 years old.
Okay.
It's one of those sports that, you have no timeouts. It's just you out there. You can blame nobody except yourself in this wrestling match. It's really from between cutting weight and the training and it being in the middle of the winter time. And it's a grueling sport.
You started at 4?
4 years old.
Damn,
yeah.
Son.
Yeah, it's crazy. We actually tried to get my 4-year-old into it. And he didn't have the attention span yet. So, but yeah, I started when I was 4. I got extremely competitive up in New Jersey.
Okay.
Right through middle school, high school. I won middle school nationals. And then I was a 4-time All-American in high school.
God,
nice. I went to, yes, really why I landed at the Petty School. It's a prep high school up in New Jersey.
Okay.
And I went there, really great education, but I'll be honest with you, I probably, they really pushed me to get in because of my wrestling background.
Okay.
They were really trying to grow the team and they had something like, 79 applicants, to every one person that got an interview and every 100 people that got interviewed, one person got into the school. So it was pretty,
So you're like middle school at this point?
This was high school. Come out of middle school into high school. Yeah, I did 4 years at a prep school in high school. I actually moved out of my home at age 14.
Bro, I'm loving this story because still playing a sport, I think I know where this is going to go amplified because it's kept you.
Oh, yeah. I've had one. Yeah, exactly. The discipline in wrestling is pretty unbelievable because just right down to making weight. You don't even get to step on the mat unless you make weight.
Yeah, I had a few friends that were wrestling guys, and I'm like, the whatever you call it, the trash bags and the running and the sweating. And so now you're high school, you're solo, because you're at this prep school.
Living at prep school with a couple buddies that I met from middle school, wrestling around the state. A couple guys that were also successful.
Right.
Actually, believe it or not, I was sitting on the side of the mat at it was the middle school championships, like the Jersey championships.
Right.
And it was me sitting next to these two guys that I knew. One was from Brick Memorial, one was from Central Regional, different schools. But they said to me, hey, look, next year we're going to this prep school. You should come with us. And I got just infatuated with the idea of going with these guys. And, it was like going to college in high school.
I was just going to say, you got a college experience at a –
Exactly.
Now, you know me in the show. I love to ask the other questions too. Were you like behaving, or did you go for Cocoa Puffs?
No. Yeah, you had to behave here. You had one stripe policy.
You did?
I mean, this was creme de la creme, man. When I graduated from the school, it was ranked 7th hardest high school in the country by Forbes.
You weren't beer bonging?
No way, man. I was wrestling. I was like tunnel vision.
Wow.
Yeah, it was. We went to school 6 days a week. We did a half day on Wednesday, a half day on Saturday.
So here we are. Joe Morreale's getting
dialed in, man. No doubt about it.
Getting carved up. You're learning. You're disciplining. And did you do a full 4 years of this?
Full 4 years at prep school, yeah. And believe it or not, this would be dressed down. We would sit 2 times a week. We'd go full suit tie. We'd have family style dinner with the whole faculty, staff, headmasters.
What's the name of the school?
The Petty School.
So like those that know what you're probably saying. They're like,
school.
damn, he went to the Petty School.
Yeah, most people in Jersey know about it. There's a couple obviously really good schools out of Jersey, prep schools, but definitely excited that I get to say that I graduated.
And you stayed in love with the sport through the whole time.
Yeah, through high school. But the injuries started coming. That's really where, for me, it started to change a little bit. I really enjoyed it.
Like senior year, junior year.
Man, I tore my shoulder out. I had my first surgery in middle school. Yeah.
Damn, son.
Labrum. Went through that whole process, and then got in high school. I blew my ACL out twice. Blew my shoulder out again.
You were starting to you were a 70-year-old man at 18.
Exactly. Yeah, I'm in rough shape, unfortunately. My 4th and 5th ACLs currently. I've had 2 shoulder surgeries on my left side. I have a torn labrum, separated shoulder, all kinds of stuff on my right shoulder. I got blown discs in my neck. Man, I'm a straight up old man.
It's crazy because you're in great shape. You know what I mean? But it's what's inside that counts. And so when you graduate, did you continue to, or that was it?
To me, I mean, here's the deal. I actually, believe it or not, out of high school, I had a bunch of rides. I had full ride offers, all kinds of different offers. Man, I had my eye on the Naval Academy. I was supposed to go to the Naval Academy with one of the guys who actually I went to the high school with.
Right.
And he wound up going to the Naval Academy. And I wound up I had Yale, Harvard, UPenn, Stanford. Most of the Ivy Leagues were interested in trying to get me to wrestle for them. They really, really wanted me to wrestle for them. And it was a really tough decision because my family were wrestlers. Both of my older brothers were wrestlers.
So this has been in the family.
Yep.
I would imagine. Okay.
My oldest brother wrestled in college. He was all
So you're getting the birdies in the ear already.
I was always, I was at the young stage, was the most talented in my family. So it was always, everything was always teeing up to see Joe in college, pretty much, see what he can do. And I'm not going to say the pressure was too much because I always was really great under pressure.
Right.
But with all my injuries, I didn't think I wanted to do it anymore, man. I felt like I already got from the sport what I needed. Right. Mentally. Physically, it gave me more than I bargained for. And I kind of said, look, my brother at that point, his girlfriend told me about Flagler College.
All right.
And it was the only school I applied to after I looked at it. And that was it. They told
and
me
you had never been in the hood before?
No.
You weren't like, oh yeah, I like that area.
Never.
Okay.
She recommended it to me. She's like, I know that you don't want to wrestle anymore.
Right.
You want to go to a beautiful city near the beach.
Right.
You should look at Flagler College. And my mom and I flew down here.
Just like that.
Dang, this place is awesome. That's where I need to go.
Do you remember what time of the year was?
I think it was. No, I don't.
Remember. Was it like Africa hot or was it?
It was not super hot. Matter of fact.
So you were getting a good dose of just.
You want to know my first experience in the Jacksonville airport? We got really delayed. We wound up landing at about 3 a.m.
Okay.
And the rental car places were all closed. So we slept from 3 until 4 on the floor, wrapped up in my jacket. I just remember being freezing, laying on the airport floor, shivering on the the floor.
People don't. Those that don't know, they think that we don't get cold down here.
It was cold.
Yeah,
it was cold.
So now you go there on campus. Are you in love immediately, or do you have apprehensions?
Oh no,
you're done.
I laid my eyes on the school, and I was like, bingo. I was like, that's where I'm going. And cherry on top. No wrestling team, so I didn't have to get convinced into.
I see. There was no noise.
Exactly. It made it very easy for me, knowing I come down here, I could kind of separate. I could focus on my career. Well, really, at that point, education, and I wanted to surf. I was like, man, let's go to the beach. I can.
You had the surfing in you, even though you were a Jersey boy.
Oh yeah. Nice. I grew up surfing. Really skateboarding when I was young, and then as I moved down the shore, that obviously transitioned into the surfing thing.
So now you roll out here straight solo, which you're already used to at this point. Because you basically were 70. Right.
Exactly.
So did you live on campus or did you live?
First year I did in the Cedar dorm, which was brand new at that point, maybe 2 years, 3 years old.
Nice.
So it was really awesome. You know?
Her sister went there. So those that had been there, they're probably like, oh, you were in the Cedar dorm.
Anyway.
I've only walked around as a tourist out there. But so now you're there, did 1 year, and then are you falling in love with the area at this point? You're just like,
it was locked and loaded.
You're turning into a Florida boy.
As soon as I walked into here, it was, it was warm feelings. I got these crazy vibes from, like, I can't really explain it. For the first 3 years, anytime I went back to New Jersey for whether it was Christmas or whatever kind of event. It was weird. As soon as I stepped foot back in Florida, everything was just
it's usually the polar opposite. Like you go home and you're like, oh, this feels good, but I don't want to be, you know what I mean? There's that nostalgic / trigger.
It was weird for me though, because don't forget, I left from middle school. True. I left in middle school. So after middle school, all these kids I went to middle school with went to high school together.
This is such a fascinating story because most of your adolescence where most of your being impressionable.
Exactly.
You're kind of getting it, but you're falling in love with also yourself, which is very important. Most people don't even accomplish that. Even to this day, we're still going through that. And here you are dealing with,
I had the opportunity to figure out what I wanted to do. It was a real crossing point. It was like, well, do I go this route and I continue wrestling for however long, or do I go this route and focus on education and career?
Now the school you went to, the Petty School, how close was that to the proximity of your family's house?
About an hour. So it's perfect.
Wow. Just far enough, but just to where they're not stopping by for ramen noodles I see.
It was the weekends. Almost every weekend I'd see my parents, but during the week it was just phone calls,
Wow. So now, boom, did we do a 4 years at the Flagler College? What did you do? What did you get?
I studied business and finance at Flagler.
Okay.
I did the minor in finance.
Okay.
Which is awesome program.
Nice.
I'm really happy with the education I actually got at Flagler. And some people, they're like, oh, small school, it's liberal arts college, yada, yada, yada. I had such a great experience. My professors were, from the bottom of their heart, really cared about your education. And, they were the type of professors where you'd leave class and you'd walk down the street to Scarlett O'Hara's and sit down at the bar and drink a Yingling with them.
And they were there.
Keep chit chat. No, you walk with them too.
Right. Oh, I see what you're saying.
It wasn't
you're like, profe, we're going out for one.
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
All right. It's one of those places, it was very small classes.
No.
He's good.
He can sense.
He probably smells my 5 dogs. And
we're getting there. We're going to Pup Town soon.
Yeah, buddy.
So, okay. Where are we? Professionally and then recreationally too, or you're coming out of school, you're pretty much saying like, I want to stay in this area ish.
Well, this is actually where it gets really interesting, to be honest. It almost gets better here.
All right.
Had a couple long-term girlfriends in college, kind of bounced around, wound up meeting my wife, Melissa, current wife, Melissa. I think it was the beginning of junior year, right at the end of my sophomore year.
Oh, wow. This is
at college. She's born and raised right here in Flagler County, actually Volusia in Flagler County.
Loving the story. Okay.
So we met. And it was kind of, that was
history.
It was awesome.
Done.
It was amazing. It was the coolest thing ever. But really where I'm going with it from the career thing is we were both very interested in travel. We loved hospitality. We loved to travel. And at that point, I was working up at One Ocean Resort up in Jacksonville.
Okay.
It's actually Atlantic Beach.
Yep. I'm not familiar with it, but I
just renovated. It was
fancy pants.
It's kind of fancy pants.
Okay.
It's as fancy pants as you can get for that area.
Right.
A lot of great ratings, but still, you get the crowd.
Right.
So, that all being said, I worked my way up from being a front desk agent in college at Flagler, traveling every single night and working a full shift after school, driving back at 1 o'clock in the morning.
Were you 3 to 11?
I was the late shift. I was 3 to 11.
That was me, baby.
Yep. Fun shift. Man.
I love that. People don't know.
Yeah.
If I'm checking into a hotel, I always am like, are you the 7 to 3 or the 3 to 11 guy? They're like, I'm the 3 to 11 guy.
You're like, okay, this is the guy.
I'm talking to this guy because he's the one that's going to get me what I need.
Exactly.
The 7 to 3s are grumpies.
Exactly.
They don't want to be there. They have too many check-ins. So you're the 3 to 11 guy. Right. That's what's up.
Cleanup shift.
So you're moving your way up.
Worked my way up. Went from front desk agent to guest service manager. Then I was executive housekeeping manager, and that was what they called the chief docent.
Okay.
They had this really cool program where they had full concierge services on the floors. Like everything that you needed. You do a checklist before you came in, what kind of snacks you liked, all kinds of stuff. They had locked you and loaded for your trip.
So you're getting acquainted with social skills amplified. Bingo.
Yeah. And I became the man. So I was always the night guy. So, if there's riffraff or if there's a big party or if there's something very important going on in the evening, I was the guy that needed to be, in charge and handling it. So it gave me a lot of really cool experience,
problem solving.
Definitely.
With a smile.
Definitely. Yeah. There's no doubt. I mean, one of my favorite things ever, I tell people this, one of my favorite things ever was getting a phone call about disgruntled guests. You know, and to be honest, it sounds really silly that I get excited when I would get a call about someone being unhappy.
Dude, I'm with you.
But I saw it as an opportunity. Hey, look, I'd say, watch this. I'm going to give them nothing except my time, and they're going to be happy. And even if they, you know, if you know how to do it right, I mean, then the nicest people, I wind up giving them crap at the end anyway because their approach. It's like, I'm sorry, I feel bad. Here you go. It's those people that come speaking in person and demand. They can, you know,
bro. On this tangent, this is why I probably love you ×2, because we have that similar DNA. I have the same background in a hospitality genre, and bro, it taught me to this day how to. I mean, you either love it or hate it.
Totally.
I mean, actually, I don't even think it's got to be even further the spectrum. You either beyond love it and become part of it, or you literally despise it. There is no medium that I experience. So you went in love with it and actually implemented it. And this is, you know, what's crazy? Correct me if I'm wrong, but on a tangent, hasn't it probably been a blessing all of your travels and wherever you go? 100%. You just know how she loves it. Wherever we check in or wherever it is,
I get you know who to talk to. You can kind of pick up on cues. Who's in charge? Who does what?
You don't waste your time. You don't know
what to say.
You're also not the jerk.
Right.
Just looking for the free comped meal. Right. You're just, hey, this room's not good.
Right.
So this is awesome. So how long did you do that?
Wow. At One Ocean, I was there, I say 3.5, almost 4 years.
See how fast it goes? I was similar, not as long, but those were pivotal. I would, correct me if I'm wrong. I'm imagining you're young, 20-ish, 20 nothings.
At that point, I was,
that same thing.
Barely 21, probably.
We didn't realize what it was imprinting on us.
Oh yeah.
But here we are acting as if we're the people checking in. And I bet you'll probably think what I am. One day I'm going to be right. One day I'm going to be right.
Absolutely.
And so, yes.
And one of those things, I mean, one of the biggest takeaways for me from that, you know, from customer service standpoint, even if the answer that you're going in with is a no, is figuring out how do you say yes with, you know, come in. If someone asks you, hey, you know, do you have the suite available this evening? It is not, no, we don't have the suite available this evening. It's, hey, I have this room available this evening. You know what I mean? It's always how to.
And this is what's probably helping you in all facets of life as we continue to learn this thing called life is listening, man.
Bingo.
Listening. People just want to be, they check in, or whatever it is, they're pissed off. They just flew 5 hours. The room's not ready. The strawberries are supposed to be there, Joe. What the hell? And you're like, I got it all taken care of. And you listen to the 30-minute disgrunt, and then it takes you 2 seconds to get them the dinner ready, reserved with the flour on the table. Bada bing, it's done.
Bingo.
But once again, it would took 2 minutes to rectify it, 28 minutes to listen to it.
Exactly.
Right? Would you say that that's a fair?
100%.
And it's probably helped you in all, no matter what you're doing. There's no, to me, all professions are the same. You're all getting paid to do something, either sell something or service someone. And what people want to do is talk, and they want to be heard. So you're getting this same as I, at that very young, pivotal age of don't be a douche.
Totally.
Like you're, really,
100%.
You're not learning. You can't be. Remember, I think the only profession to this day that fascinates me that you can say no and actually do it with a pissed off face are ticket agents. You know, like at an airport.
True story.
It's the only one you can go. You're not getting on the plane. Bye-bye.
Yeah.
And there's no ramification.
And that's kind of sad. And that's kind of sad to me, but
you know what I mean?
Yeah.
But so here you are now. When did we start getting this? Were you thinking like I was thinking, where I'm going to do this the rest of my life?
Oh yeah, man. I was going to be at the G. This is in my head.
Yes.
I'm going to be a GM of a resort, you know, in the Virgin Islands or somewhere tropical for 12, 15 years. And I was going to transition into purchasing my own property, being an owner operator of a small luxury resort somewhere. And and to be honest with you, man, to this point in my life, I still have that as my retirement goal.
It's right there.
It's there. I know
it's not an unfathomable goal, bro.
No, man, it's a capital thing, you know.
But it's crazy. So that's the bug with the hospitality thing is like, and I bet you that's why you excelled at it, is that any job I ever worked, I made pretend I owned it.
Exactly.
Literally, like this is my building.
Let's take it one step further. You know, one of the things I do everywhere that I go.
What?
Okay, I read this somewhere. I don't know, this goes back 5-6 years ago, and it stuck so hard with me.
Hit me.
I don't care where I go, whether it's my party, someone else's party, an event that I show up at, and I don't know anybody. Act as the host.
Ooh.
Act as the host. When you act as the host, people start coming to you for stuff. It doesn't matter what it is.
So you mean like even if you're at an event, whatever it is?
Yeah, I mean you're shaking hands, you're kissing babies, you're introducing people, you're making sure you know what people do and what they would need from others. And if there is a need from you connect people. You can and that's one of my favorite things.
Morreale.
I love being a matchmaker, and I can't be a matchmaker unless I know people and know what they do. And,
right.
I don't know. I
like this because this is all this is all translatable in life.
Totally.
Like today.
And it comes right out of hospitality. I was the host. I was the front desk manager.
Yeah.
I was the man people came in and saw. So I try, I translate that back to my whole life, wherever I go. Act like I'm the man, even if it's not my thing. I try not, obviously.
But you're delivering this appropriately as well, because those that are listening, this is how I feel. I hope you folks are feeling the same way, because you're not coming off as if it was like, I'm cooler than you factor. It was more of, no, you're very submissive in a good way. That was the whole role of working in that hospitality industry, is that in theory, we're kind of we're taking it. We're taking it a lot.
All day.
Taking
all day.
And we're doing it, holding the bib, while we're bleeding and still smiling. And that's really, I think, where the blessing lies, is saying, we're not coming across as if you're beneath us. You are better. And we give you that feeling. And I think it permeates in your customers. It permeates in your family and your relationships. So this is fascinating. So now when do we start sailing? This is it.
Not yet, man.
Oh, no, you stayed in it?
We stayed in it for almost 3-4 more years after this.
So we're talking an accumulative of like
7+ years. We actually, One Ocean Resort, my wife and I, to put a story in a nutshell without getting too deep on all the details, because it gets a little messy, but my wife and I wound up eloping. We wound up getting married in the courthouse in Jacksonville and saying, screw this, we're moving to the Virgin Islands.
You can't-eloped.
We
really did it.
We did it, man. We did it. We moved to St. John in the Virgin Islands.
Can we just talk for 1 second about that?
Absolutely.
Family.
Yes. That was it. She's I'm a Roman Catholic boy from Jersey, and I meet a Florida girl who's Jewish.
I could still see some of your crucifixion holes on you.
Yeah, I got a tattoo on my back, man.
Yeah. I mean,
big cross tattoo right on there.
Were you just getting?
It was tough.
I'm sure. I don't want to go there, but I mean, that's something that I would genuinely ask you from one Italian to another.
Sure.
I can imagine. It
was tough.
Life isn't for you. It's for them.
Let's put it like this: we had a check written to the Addison in Boca Raton to do our wedding. We pulled our deposit and said, screw this, we're out. We're going.
What were some of the leading? I'm sure once again, this book is it's.
Yeah, we can. This is a conversation.
But just the bullet points. Was it? How long did it take for you to make that decision? I think I find most fascinating. So there was no doubt.
It was. We really tried to do the big wedding family thing and make everybody happy and do this. And
you had no strings to hold you down.
Yeah, and it was, man. Listen, this is our wedding. Why are we planning this wedding for whatever everybody else wants it to be like? And we said, screw this. We're going to save our money.
Smart.
And we moved to the Virgin Islands.
You moved?
I got a job at Keneal Bay in St. John.
I'm like, I know I loved you, but this is like, and none of it fascinates me with the fiscal and like this. It shows me that you just kept following. You just kept wherever your true north was, man. This is so. Give me where are we? Are we 25-ish?
Oh, this was 2012, 8 years ago. So 24.
Wow. And you're following your true north.
Yep.
You're being able to you're turning the noise off, which is the hardest thing.
That was important. Yep.
Got to turn that noise off. You get on your own aeroplane.
It got loud.
Oh, bro.
Yeah.
I bet you that's still echoing.
Oh,
okay.
Totally.
100%.
Oh, yeah.
So now you're Virgin Islands, solo dolo, you and the missus?
Yeah, my wife, she was still finishing up at Flagler.
Okay.
So the way the timing worked, I wound up getting a job, and I was starting in, I think, October, if I'm not mistaken, and she was graduating in November from winter term.
And you guys are sticking in the hospitality genre out there?
Mm-hmm.
Smart.
I went down to Keneal Bay.
It's universal language, right?
Oh, yeah.
You could do it anywhere, which
and
is
then
another
my wife actually got a job at the only other big resort on the whole island.
And you're there. And I mean, not to mention, I'm huge into the Caribbean lifestyle and the geographical
There you go.
So,
that's Keneal Bay there. I can't.
People can't see it, but it is so sexy. It's beautiful. I'm all about, listen, my goal in life, the superficial people are like, so how's your first quarter? And I said, well, the shorter my shorts get, so the dictation of how good it is. And 2, that's where I want to be in the wintertime. I can't. Yeah. This winter's been, but this is it. So you're there. Give me how long are we there?
We were unfortunately only there for a year.
It's okay though.
No, it was one of the best years of my whole life. Seriously, it was.
So you like turned 25 there. It's a big year.
I mean, I have pictures. The best birthday party I've ever had. It was 6 of us. I forget what beach we were at. Hawks Nest Beach, maybe.
I'm not familiar.
We were at this tiny little bay with these picnic tables, and we were playing beer pong under the palm trees,
easy peasy,
all day in the shade. Just no. It was like I rewind myself to that point, and it was one of those points where I felt like I had no worries. We had no kids yet.
The epitome of no stress.
It was like it was
free. And you turned 25.
The top point of that in my life.
We share this another one in common. I've so far, if I continue as well, and once again, for those that can't do it, I understand. So it's hard to do, but it's good to travel. But you also make sure you're not finding happiness there. So that's all those that are listening to this and know me well. I don't preach this like go and travel in the world and you're going to find happiness.
Right.
If you're miserable here now, don't go anywhere because it's going to be worse. So bring your happiness there. I used to do the looking for happiness. So here you are. You turn 25 in a remote location. Huge, I think. And that's a good age. 25 was a big age for me because it's like, I'm not a little baby. And we're still babies looking back on it. But so you're out there.
And this is August. I turned 25 in August. And September comes around. And have you been down to the islands for Carnival?
I have not, but I have heard stories.
Oh, yeah.
I heard it's miserable. No, I'm just kidding.
Oh, it's the worst place.
Where you don't
want to be there for Carnival.
Bunch of fun dancing and
all night long. Yeah. It's unbelievable. So, where we live.
And you're there for this?
Where we live right in the heart of Cruz Bay. So we would walk out. Like I have a video somewhere on my computer of me. I just thought it was funny. So I laid in my bed and turned all the lights off with my camera. And then I get out of bed and I take 10 steps and I open up the front door of my house and it's just like, and there's like thousands of people outside just like dancing with beers in their hands.
Somersaulting and hanging out.
Unbelievable.
Good shit. So you're out there and I can't even imagine the feeling of, are you dealing with a lot of expat? Like what was your general, like your bestie at that time? Was he like a local?
Yeah.
He was?
Yeah. It's funny, man. We had a couple, like there was like 4 or 5 locals that we became really tight with.
Nice.
And then obviously a couple, a bunch of people I worked with, but.
So you're chilling with like salt of the earth people.
Yeah. Like the guy who works the parking lot across the street to make sure people don't park there.
Yeah.
But it was great because he'd be sitting in this chair all day long. So you see my wife and he always makes sure she's good. Because there's some riffraff down there.
Well, just like anything else, we are huge fans of the Caribbean off the beaten path. There's a time and place for the sandals effect. I get it. I got it. It's wonderful. But you only want to get a good dose. Go find like that.
Go get a hut in the woods.
Bingo, bango. And deal with some people that live there. And once again, there are some safety measures, but ultimately you're going to get some of the best. But see, once again, man, this is why I fall in love with you is that you're learning more and more to fall in love with people and not vanity.
Exactly.
And that age is I look back on it now. And I just shook the hand of the very GM that I worked for.
No way.
And he was like, how are you? And I says, the biggest thing that ever happened to me was stripping myself of vanity was the biggest thing. Being around, it's very tough. It's funny. You may share this in common. Being around such vanity. Okay. And there's nothing wrong with it. There's a time and place to look good, smell good, and have the bazillion dollars if it's disposable income at this point.
Right.
But it's tough to not fall into that rap of like, well.
100%. Well, to touch on your point, it was killing me last night watching the Super Bowl because every commercial was about some famous person and like doing something. I don't know. It just was. It was.
Well, it's because you got it. It's because you're pinging on her. You're pinging differently.
Definitely, man. I was like, man, this is. I said to my wife halfway through, I was like, why does every commercial have a famous person in it? Or
That's consumerism at its finest, bro.
Yeah, it was kind of making me crazy.
And it's a tough thing to talk about because right off the bat, here we are as 2 individuals working in the United States of America, and it's based off of consumerism. It's all about filling a need, selling something that they don't even need sometimes. And here's the point is that there's a fine line, though, and I think what's probably happening for you, and hence you're even in this chair, is that I'm attracted to people like you. And there's a growing audience of people like you. Not audience, there's a growing characteristic of people like you that are realizing that we have to work, we have to fulfill a need, but find something that actually is substantial and you can sleep well at night. That's the trigger. And it resonates with me, man. I know what you're saying. I didn't watch much. I watched the Super Bowl, but I had watched it in an hour delay just to avoid the stuff because I don't. I'm 35. I haven't had TV prior to my departure out of this country. And I don't have it.
Good for you.
But now listen, it also is helps sometimes as a marketer to like see what people, and it's actually kind of sad to see how brain dead we actually have become. Some of these commercials that I saw and they're being replayed, I'm like, it doesn't take much people to really entertain anymore. I mean,
the
literally.
Planners nut commercial. Did you see that one?
Which was that?
They killed off Mr. Peanut.
Oh, yeah, nope. See, I didn't see that.
Well,
but
they killed off Mr. Peanut last week in a car crash off a cliff. Yeah, ill timed during the Kobe Bryant thing. Yeah, so it was pretty terrible.
They didn't talk about Kobe, by the way, at the Super Bowl, did they?
They did. They did a little shout out for him at the beginning.
They did?
A moment of silence, yeah.
I didn't see it, and I thought, maybe they didn't do that one because you'd have to do so many other, but that is
They
nice
did two. They did him and his daughter, and then one other gentleman.
Okay. Well, that's really nice. But I see what you're saying, and trust me, I'm sure everyone's talking about it and the whiplash now with the Beyonce and the Shakira thing, or not Beyonce, J-Lo, blah, blah, blah. But here's what I love is that you still, once again, being disconnected from the glitz and the glam, you were able to once again build a lifestyle that as we acquire it, there is nothing wrong. I guarantee you one day you will see me in a helicopter, 110%, but it won't own me.
No doubt.
You know, like, and I won't care if there's a couple scratches on it and it won't have my logo on it. It will just be something as used for a tool, as a vessel to get what I.
Well, dude, I said that the high point of being content in my life was when we lived in the Virgin Islands. You know, when I lived down there, I owned 4 pairs of bathing suits, 2 surfboards, a fishing pole, and a Jeep. And the Jeep was beat up.
Why'd you have so many bathing suits?
You really only wear one for like 3 weeks.
It's
straight,
true.
So,
but see what I love about this is that it taught you once again that when you came back to the States, I bet, like when it happened to me, you were kind of like, oh my.
All right, let's talk about that story.
Well,
coming back to the States.
Here you come. You're going. Here we go.
So let's go back to the carnival. Boom. So during carnival, when we got pregnant with our first child.
Oh, so you get pregnant there?
Yep. Wow. That's why we're here.
Is that Oh.
So, I think we probably would have done another year. You don't want that.
We got to get back.
Yeah, we probably would have done another year, maybe two and a half total if we didn't wind up, getting pregnant down there.
Well, you don't want to have a baby internationally, so to speak, because things get really convoluted.
Definitely would have been a little, it is a U.S. island, but here's where it got really messy for us.
Yeah.
We lived in what they call the Creek Apartments, these old little apartment building provided to us by Keneal Bay. So it was part of my benefits package.
Oh, nice.
I had a house to live in. But St. John does not have a medical, except one medical clinic. It's got no emergency
St. John.
No, St. John Virgin Islands.
Oh, there's
Yeah, it has one medical clinic that's open from like 9 to 5, and that's for your checkups. And so Melissa goes into labor in the middle of the night. We either have to get on the public ferry, if it's at their schedule, if it's before 11:30. So if it's after 11:30, we're having bathtub baby.
Right.
I was not willing to do that. Not on the first one.
So she gets pregnant, and I'm sure the euphoria and the jubilee about having a baby coming kind of makes the pain of having to leave this beautiful island not as bad. Right. So now you guys pack up. What's on the radar at that point?
So I called, and it's this happy little love circle of hospitality people. So
of course,
I met 3 people, and I'll name drop, Justin Clark and Jeremy Zuber. There's 2 of my great friends of mine who I met at One Ocean Resort in Jacksonville. Now, both of these human beings, before I met them, used to work at Keneal Bay Resort. Okay, so let's move this further. When I was ready to move from One Ocean down to Keneal Bay, the one guy, Jeremy, was at Keneal again, being the front office manager. Okay. So I called him up. He's like, come on down. We'll get you a job, blah, blah, blah. Okay, so once we got pregnant when we were in St. John, I called the other guy who used to work at One Ocean and used to work at Keneal Bay, was living in Park City, Utah.
Okay, here we go.
Here we go.
We're going to Utah?
We're going to Park City, baby. We're going from effectively third world tropical climate to the richest, snobbiest ski town in North America, besides Vail.
What part of the year was it? You remember?
November.
Cold land,
man.
Here we go. Flying in. Yeah, still solo, right? The noise.
Yeah, so it was my wife, just my wife and I. We
how many pregnancies is she? Like,
it was pretty quick. We found out we were pregnant, and we let's get.
So she wasn't full. She wasn't
not at the beginning part. Yeah, no
time.
She actually worked for quite a while out there.
So at least you're like, this isn't like uncomfortable yet. Like okay.
That's why we did that. We were like, we need to do this before this gets too far along.
We got the 4 bathing suits. We
got my 1 backpack and the 2 dogs and my surfboard.
Here we come, Utah. So now we go there. Now we've got some connect out there because the homeboy.
Yep. So he plugged me in as what was my role? Director of guest services for Resorts West, which was a ultra luxury property management company.
This is the bee's knees.
Oh, dude.
Here we go.
There's this, what is it, ski.com, the Dream Home. You ever heard of the Dream Home that's out in Park City, Utah?
No, but I'm sure it's
up on Deer Valley. It's like,
okay.
it's ridiculous.
Right.
But long story short, we managed that property. I mean, this thing was in all the magazines, and yeah,
wow.
we managed all the top properties out there. I met David Letterman. I met the Entourage Boys. I met Stanley Tucci. I met David Grohl. I mean, you name it. I've met a lot of people.
So
out
these
there.
are the fancy pants peoples. They're rolling in.
Oh yeah,
choppers are landing. Here we go.
Sundance Film Festival's coming around the corner.
Damn.
Yeah.
Okay.
So it was a really different thing for us to move out there. I'm like, man, I need snow clothes.
Right.
So we're out, getting snowboard, getting gear, getting all this. I wound up snowboarding 40 days that winter.
Is that that's a good
It's
number?
a big number.
I'm sure.
Yeah,
I'm
a big
going
number.
to imagine. Yeah, I guess 40 of anything and you
one
came
season,
out, all your legs and all your arms stayed intact, huh?
Yeah, no, my ACL's jacked, but
I left my knee there, but
yeah.
All right. So now you're there. How long are we in Utah?
We're in Utah, and then we have so that was probably November, and then April, my daughter was born.
Boom, shakalaka. What day of April?
19th.
That's my birthday.
Nuh-uh.
I swear. Babe, his daughter's birthday is the same day as me. And my buddy's birthday's 420.
Really?
So we used to, just get to. I was always jealous. It was like, damn. As I got older, about middle school, high school, I'm like, your birthday's cooler than mine. But it's so funny. Yeah, 419.
Everyone's partying for your birthday.
This is crazy. Your brother. So now 419, you have your baby girl.
Yep.
I'm sure we could go on a whole nother tangent about that, but
that changed my whole life.
Boom, new man.
That was crazy.
Where's your compass going now?
It was kind of doing circles.
Oof, I love this. How long had you been prior to the birth?
We were just out
6
there for
months?
4 or 5 months.
Okay.
Yeah, we were still
Boom,
out there.
baby
comes.
You're snowboarding. Yep. Your knees are falling off.
My wife starts getting homesick.
Where though?
Here. Family.
Because she's
her parents are here.
This is
my
so
parents owned a
fascinating.
house here, and it was.
Where's here? Like
her parents are in Flagler Beach.
This is crazy. So
my parents own a house in St. Augustine Beach.
So it's plus,
she felt it.
She's got the baby now.
That was it. It wasn't like there was no pressure from her side. But she could feel it. Yeah. She could feel like she just needed to bring that baby to her grandparents.
So you guys are probably, I'm getting a good sense of there's probably really good communication. You guys are looking at this compass metaphorically every day, and it's just kind of like, honey, we gotta. Where are we going?
Like we were in great careers. We had great connections out there. We loved it out there, but just there was something missing. The longer it went, the more it felt like there was a void.
Oh,
it was weird. I didn't feel that in the islands, man. I did not feel that. But once we were in, it was just too far, I think.
Who knows? But that's what it's all about. This is why, once again, you and I are going to be besties for a long time. Is that listening to that compass, man? It's tough, and you don't owe anybody an explanation behind it. I think that's the flip side of things. People.
I mean, look at our story. If we need an explanation,
there's no rule book, and half the time, if you try to share as you're in the midst of it, that noise will pollute your decision. So, for instance, let's just say I had a biased opinion. You call me and you're like, "Yo, Chenz, I'm in Utah. I don't know what to do. The missus and I were doing fine, but we're kind of in this like our compass is spinning." I'd be like, "Yo, Joey, come back home."
Right.
Like you don't need to hear that. I mean, it's good but everyone's got a motive.
Right.
And everyone cares about themselves.
I'm happy you said that because it's so true.
Isn't it true?
All the time.
And it's not that it's a bad thing. I'm not saying kill everybody.
Some people still have the correct, there are good motives, but it's not maybe in line exactly with what you're thinking.
Maybe 1 out of 10 people you may share your secret spy plans with go, no. I can't give you advice. And that's what I've tried to become the last handful of years as we've been adulting.
If you don't.
Those that call me for advice, so to speak, and I go, remember I even told that to you on the phone the other day? You're like, what should I do? And I said, whoa, at that point, no clue, bro.
Right.
I can't, because I don't want that blood on my hands. Shit don't work.
Sure.
But I also love you enough as a human being that you'll figure it out because I know you have a compass. Now, there are some people that legitimately are like, where do I swim? And you're like, you want to go this way, closer to shore. I'm not just going to sit there and watch you drown. But there are some people that's like, hey, you're already heading this way.
Just keep doing what you're doing.
Just keep treading water, baby. I'll be here when you get back. I'm not your source. Because those people that try to be your source, you're stuck.
Totally.
And your whole plan is contingent now on their phone calls or this. So now you're getting the bug. You come home, right? Are we there?
Back to One Ocean.
Oh, you're back to Jack's.
Yep. So
Boom.
we moved. Let me think where we moved to. We moved to Jack's, actually.
Okay.
We got an apartment in Jack's.
Nice.
I was working at One Ocean again.
We got little
baby.
one. We got Diamond Baby.
We got baby. Yes.
So Diamond Baby
Kayak
is
Cruise. We named her after the Virgin Islands.
Nice.
Yeah,
Good for you
we lived in
guys.
Cruise Bay in St. John.
And she's like nucleus status.
Oh,
she's little baby.
tiny, yeah.
Guys, get there. You're starting your new life. You're in Jackson. Family's got to be
enough.
happy.
Stoked.
Are your family?
Yeah, we're starting to come around. You know, the baby. We knew that the baby.
They're taking you off the cross a little bit. They're letting you back.
And we had the conversation. You know,
yeah.
Just, hey, look, you know, we have a kid now. You know,
right.
We need to make this right. So,
well, I'm sure the kid helps. Like, you're either for me or against me at this point because I'm going this way with my little baby.
Right. And I'd love for you to come with me.
Right. But I think that's
the direction.
That's what I'm missing on my tangent on my family side is that I'm still just floating around and they're like, you're not doing anything with your life because I don't have the baby yet. But I'm sure if I had the baby, it would help lessen some of the noise.
Sure.
But so here you are, Jacksonville, bada boom. And now where are we?
So we did 2 years in Jacksonville. And actually, I'm sorry. I didn't say it. Yeah. So we went up to, in total being up there for 2 years in two different places. But when my daughter was 9 months old.
Yeah.
Guess what? Pregnant again. So I'll never forget telling my 9-month-old in her diaper, wobbly head, sitting there, jewel coming out of her cheek. Hey, you're going to be a big sister.
Right.
That was a scary moment for us.
Because I don't know what that feels like, but you're still trying to figure out how to change the diaper on the first one.
Bingo. We still have all these things.
I don't even. I got another one that's going to be here. I'm going to have 2 nucleus babies, little babies.
So when my daughter was almost she was 18 months and 2 days old. Here comes Luca.
Boom. Oh, it's a boy?
Yep.
Yeah.
So we got the one and done. With 2 and
Dude,
1 and 1 done.
This is like you couldn't have planned it. You couldn't have like chose it better. In my thinking, you get both.
Thank goodness it went that way because my wife and I always wanted 3. I was a family of 3. My wife's a family of 3. We were always going to have 3. Then we had 1. And I was like, screw this, I'm done.
This is good. You're at the 2?
I was done at 1 kind of.
Right.
But slowly kind of says, you know,
right,
I wanted the boy. You know, I had to have the boy. And then luckily we had the boy at the second one. So then I could be done.
So here comes Luca.
Luca's here now.
We're still in Jax.
Let me think about this. We moved to Palm Coast.
Where's this? How does that flip happen?
Oh yeah, so I missed a big important piece when we got pregnant with the second one. You know, hospitality, dude. You know, it's hours.
Oh, I know, dude.
And it's income. And I was trying to figure out how to get income and then hours, right?
I don't know if that happens in hospitality.
It does not.
No.
And actually, the further up you go, the worse it gets.
I know.
Until you hit like executive level.
It showed when I saw the old guy. I was like, oh boy. I'm so glad I didn't go that acronym.
You're like, happy 90th birthday. He's like, I'm 45. Like, oh.
You're like, are you on the cusp of retirement? He's like, no, I just moved positions. Like I know. We've seen it.
Stressful.
It's very, very stressful. So you're once again, you're recalibrating your compass and you're thinking, wait a minute, if I continue to try to achieve this,
I'm not going to have a life with my family.
And not to mention those that work the F&B hospitality world. Bye-bye.
Yeah.
Holidays.
Weekends,
I know.
nights, I was gone.
Anybody's like, I'm getting married. Like I'm not going.
Right.
Unless it's on a Tuesday.
Tuesday at 10 in the morning, I'm there, but outside of that, nope.
So nothing. So this is you're realizing that, listen, I need to make a change now, or I'm not going to have a Christmas for the rest of my life.
Right.
Okay.
Bingo.
Boom.
And, yeah. So, I was insane. I was at Flagler College. I met the Bailey family. So I actually called.
Do we know them? Is that
the Bailey Group?
Is
St. Augustine.
Okay.
They're an insurance agency.
Okay.
They're one of the biggest employee benefit shops in Florida.
Gotcha.
And I've known the family for a long time. So I kind of, called them up. They knew what my background was.
Right.
Mark had watched me travel around. He kind of was like, yeah, saw what you were doing with your career and now you got a good work ethic.
Right.
Let's chat. So,
nice.
My first meeting with him was, I remember him asking me, what are you more interested in, selling like life insurance and investments or selling health insurance? And I kind of knew what my answer was, but at the same time, he was doing it for 20 years already.
Right.
So I was like, look, you know who I am as a person. You know what I've been doing. You know what kind of background I have. You plug me into what you think would be a better fit for me. So he plugged me in with a New York Life Insurance Company.
Okay.
Started working with them as a financial advisor and writing life insurance. And I was really focusing more on the life insurance side. Through the agency. And then over the course of I was with them for almost 5 years.
Wow.
Yeah.
But this is when you had in that transition you made you're in Palm Coast at this point.
Yes, right.
Boom. Okay.
And
you're working for a company based out of New York.
New York Life is based in New York, but the agency I worked at was in St. Augustine. So I had an office in St. Augustine.
Okay, so you're making that's not that bad of a commute.
No,
at that type of professionalism.
Yeah,
it's worth it.
We said, we were living in Jax. My office was in St. Augustine, and my in-laws were in Flagler County.
Perfect.
So instead of traveling south, we said, why don't we just park ourselves in the middle and move to Palm Coast?
Yeah.
So it's the same distance from Flagler to St. Augustine, and yada yada.
And,
So it's right between both of the places I'd be going.
So 5 years go by just like that?
5 years went by quick as heck.
I'm sure.
I can't even tell you.
Yep.
I mean, it was a grind. I worked my ass off,
course.
and that's kind of why I put the blinders on, and it was just gone. Now my kids are grown up, and I'm like, what the heck?
That's how it happens.
But that being said, I slowly shifted my focus from life insurance, individual planning to corporate retirement, 401ks, and I became the lead advisor at the Bailey Group.
Nice, man.
And, without getting into all the BS,
I'm sure
there was, some things that happened with some other advisors that I decided, I kind of needed to separate myself from the agency, but I continued my career with New York Life.
Okay.
And throughout that transition, and I'll be honest, man, it's one of those things that hindsight's 2020. You don't realize how much goes into running your book until you don't have an agency anymore. Because I became a successor agent on two different advisors' books, and then I lost all my assistants in my office space. So my total service level went up threefold, and the number of the amount of help I had went to zero.
Right.
So I went 6 months trying to get above water on the service and just get ahead and start writing business again. But I literally felt like I was just
treading water. Huh?
I was treading water. That's all. I couldn't even get out of my house. I was taking calls on my 401ks. I was, just everything was flowing right through my cell phone. And I had all this service work sitting here that I couldn't even get in front of people to sell business.
Right.
And, in my business, unless I'm selling, unless I'm, writing new 401ks, writing new life insurance, taking on new monies from investments, there's little residuals, but not enough to pay the bills. Right. I mean, so it was really a weird transition because. Are
you in anxious city at that point?
I was, this was like, let me think when this happened. April. So April, I made the move away from the Bailey Group, and then come September. So I did.
These are all the recent ones. Like this past.
This is just in 2019.
Fresh, son.
This is fresh. Yeah.
Damn.
Right at the end of 2019, October 1st, I started my new agency, fully independent. And it's been one of the most liberating things I've ever done in my entire life.
You jumped.
It was crazy. I hit the reset button, and that's one of the scariest things to ever do, especially in my business.
Yeah, I can imagine.
Almost 6 years deep. I had renewals. I had money paying me before I woke up in the morning from what I had written. Right.
So
I had to just say, okay, you guys can keep all that. I'm going to start over. I'm going to go over to this place because I knew that they would be able to support me better long term.
Now, are you still tied? You're tied to it. I don't know how your world works, so my apologies for sounding so ignorant. But are you tied to a thingy? Now?
Yes, a broker dealer. So my agency was the Bailey Group, and my broker dealer was Nylife Securities.
Okay.
And now my broker dealer is M Holding Securities.
Okay.
M Financial Group. And my agency is the Executive Compensation Group in Daytona Beach.
Gotcha.
And they've been around since 1966 as a pension shop, and slowly changed over, and they're really focusing on 401k business. So for me, I mean, it's a no-brainer. I mean, I have an underwriter in my office that helps me build all my life insurance, does all my life insurance paperwork, follows up on exams. I have one lady in my office that does just contracting, and
so you got a good support system.
Yes.
But there seems to be, from my novice way of looking at it, you're still in charge of your own ranch, so to speak. 100%. You're still the cowboy. You're a cowboy.
Matter of fact, I own my book now more than I did ever before.
So it was a scary leap, but you're also realizing that it's obviously probably as much work, if not more, but the rewards are there, and you've got the freedom.
Especially during that transition time.
Yeah,
it's so labor intensive.
And don't you have 2 kids too?
I do. And I have 5 dogs, and all kinds of other stuff.
All those decisions. And I think this weighs, as I don't feel that amount of weight, but I know all the decisions that I've made since I've been married, which have been about 7 years in March. We have a response. I guess you can't say bomb on an airplane anymore, but I do believe that a man has a responsibility to protect and provide. There's nothing wrong with women being in the workforce and doing your thing and none of that jazz. So don't report me to your grumpy pants peoples. But point is, I do believe when a man makes a decision to take on more at his ranch, it's your stuff. And I think I'm proud of you that it's good that it weighs heavy, because if it doesn't, and I've been telling people this more and more in all facets of life, when they're kind of just mad because the weight's so heavy. And I'm like, no, that's good. Mm-hmm. Because go ahead and lift a 5-pound dumbbell every day. That's it. That's you're going to be, let that weight tear and pull and let it hurt, because it does hurt. And that's what I think is helping people like you and I, is we do let the pain, it's got to hurt a little bit. Isn't that pain when after a gym workout?
It's like releasing the endorphins.
Yeah.
Man,
it's like, it's important. There's that feeling of like, hey, I put in a good day yesterday. And then the cool thing is, I repeat this a lot, but Chief Downey here locally taught me, you're only as good as your last 24 anyways. So like, go ahead and kill a day and have a great, wonderful day. You got to do it again. And I don't want to say that it's just a dude's job, but if whoever it is, if you're responsible for people's or four walls, you got to take it. You have to go even extra harder in the paint. It's your 100%. Responsibility to realize that every decision you make, there's a deeper ramification. And I'm proud of you that you took that. It's scary.
Oh, it was scary. It was scary, especially because, I had a couple 401ks that were able to come over.
Right.
But the other big plans that came over were simple IRAs,
right?
Group IRAs. So effectively, I have three different group IRAs that I have out there, simple plans. And all of them have anywhere from 50 to 90 employees that are active in the plan.
Wow.
And with the simple IRAs, I have to repaper every single individual to make sure that
there's that midnight oil.
Oh yeah. And I could not have, honestly, there's no way in heck I could have repapered all that business without the support that my new office gave me.
Awesome.
Because I literally got to sit down with each individual, fill out the paperwork and pass it off and then go to the next one.
Right.
And if I couldn't do that, they didn't have that ability. I'd still right now be sitting here probably doing paperwork trying to.
As you're talking. Hold on 1 second.
Yeah.
Can you hold this paper for me? So where are we at right now? Is Joe Morreale are we sleeping at night?
Oh yeah. Yeah. I mean, granted, I'm still right in the thick of a transition, you know, and reestablishing myself with my new agency. But I know we talked about this many times. It's more about Joe Morreale than it is about my agency. And I'm starting to really feel that from my clients. Good. Where, we talk about either the life insurance planning or the investments that the planning we did in the past and where they're sitting. And it's like, well, look, New York Life's a great company. It's, Fortune 100 company, mutual company, one of the strongest financial companies in the whole market. But they're not in it to work with New York Life. They're in it because they were taking Joe Morreale's lead, never using Joe Morreale's advice, right? And as long as I am in a good spot, they're going to continue to do so. And, slowly over time, it's helping me sleep at night. Let's just go like that. Right at the beginning, probably not. I mean, the first 2 weeks when I made that transition,
it's tough, right?
No, I don't think I slept. I don't think I did.
And also, by the way, just because you're sleeping now doesn't mean you're always going to sleep. It's always important. Right. I was able to corner a few admirable folk that I just admire that this past weekend over Friday, the Fancy Pants Gala thingy, which I don't normally attend things like that.
You look good, by the way. I saw some pictures.
Thank you. I went. those clothes were older than me.
Shout out to Mike Akialis, by the way, for winning YPG Member of the Year. My boy.
I love him.
Yeah, he's the man. I love that guy.
He's every time I see him, he just gives me a big apology. He's like, I miss you, because we used to chill.
He gives you the big hug first.
Get the big hug. And I miss him, but of course, I mean, dude, we're all growing up and it's happening. You know, he's got his nice little lady now. It was her birthday that night, by the way. So happy belated birthday, Crystal. But you know, life is life, and when I see him, I see him. My point is that night I'm asking some of these, and it wasn't that many. It was a good concentrated group of people individually. And I would say, how are you sleeping over this last few years in general? And that's kind of figuratively, because I go a little bit more in depth. And dude, no matter who they were, as cool as they were, and I'm saying they're cool. I'm not like berating, like they thought they were cool. Thought they were amazing. No matter what you think about someone, everyone's going through. And I've been saying this a lot.
They're just a different part of the roller coaster, man.
Different part of the roller coaster.
Everything's cyclical. Everyone's going to go through the same cycles. Just where are you in the cycle?
Amen. And you know what I've been doing more recently? I love talking to completely bone cold strangers. I think you and I probably share that in common.
Oh, I love it.
And I was doing my stranger banter, and I'll tell you, it's really fascinating when you ask somebody, how's your hour been?
That's an interesting question.
You want to get someone's attention? Ask them how their last 30 minutes to an hour have been. And they'll pay attention. They won't walk away as most people do when you say, "Hey, how are you?"
Right.
It's how's your hour, because the day goes so much. You wake up, you're happy. 3 hours go by, you're pissed. 30 minutes from there, you're happy because you FaceTime with your kid. 30 minutes from there, you're pissed because the client said he's out. So it's like, how's your hour? And
I like that.
Yeah, we'll get someone's attention. And what it's happening is I'm noticing that the more and more you get away from the noise, right? And you connect with a human being, we're back working at the concierge desk, listening to this person checking in. Because at that moment, you know what's fascinating about the hospitality industry is that in that moment, they've saved, they've waited, and this is their time.
Exactly.
And at that moment in their time, when their children are waiting at the door and the wife is pissed because the phone is that, and they don't know where the husband or someone is usually executing the check-in process, and it's help me, please, right. God.
Immediately, if not sooner.
Yeah, can you please? And then the last thing you want to do is your room's not ready.
Right.
So you're already in that moment. To them, everything that they're experiencing at that very moment is part of that trip.
In my opinion, let's just talk about that real quick. Being a hospitality guy, you get it. That is such an unacceptable answer to a guest. And all the time, the room is not ready yet. Because unless you have an extremely specific request on which room you want, or I need the bed pointing this direction, I need the view out, that's the only time you should ever tell the guest that their room is not ready, because they want room 201. Not because they just checked in for a king suite. Okay, there's another king suite that's probably clean. Move the damn room.
You know what though? You probably had the liberty that I did. I was the fireman.
Right.
So I was
in the back switching keys and this guy's at the desk and these people have been waiting. And these two rooms are ready and you're switching.
And they have no idea that while you're doing, as you're listening to them, you've already solved the problem. Totally. And you're ready to execute. But once again, it takes that time. But that has trickled into all aspects of life. And here we are sitting at my kitchen table and I'm listening. And that's what it's all about, is like listen to people. And a lot of people don't want to listen anymore. And we're all guilty of it. Once again, doesn't mean because I'm listening now means that I'm going to do a good job 10 hours from now. Mm-hmm. It's take a minute to just shut the hell up and listen.
It's a conscious decision you have to make too. Honestly, you have to. I mean, even I'll be the first person to admit that I have a lot to say, man. I always have a lot to say.
We can say this. Italian people have a lot to say.
Yeah.
I don't know why. We just do. And it's tough to, when you come home after you talk to somebody and you go, he wasn't listening to me. He just heard me.
Right. He's waiting for his next, he's 100%. Thinking about his next response.
And we're all guilty of it.
Okay.
We've had times of doing it, but I think what's happening is
being conscious of it is like the first
100%, But I think, and like as I'm getting to know you, more importantly than fiscal, more importantly than what you even do, it's because you have a true north, man. But once again, isn't it funny? A compass is never set true north. It's always moving.
It's always
depending on where you're going.
Right.
So it's always important to keep that thing out and to keep constantly looking at it, even because things get life gets fun. I told a friend of mine today that I had awoken the beast, man. I went to Orlando for a soccer tournament about 3 weeks ago, and I do pretty good without misbehaving too much, but it's very easy being 35 and being 18 at the same time. So I don't have any it's just me and my wife, and it's really easy to go ahead and get spring break on it real quick. And
man, I'm jealous. I missed that.
Well, grass is always greener, because there's also too, I don't know where I'm at right now with the whole kid thing. I think we've pretty much made almost a pretty sound decision that we might not be doing it, because we're at this point and we travel a ton too. Like we keep that real, and our travels aren't about the sandals effect. It's about finding that, what you did. I love that stuff. But my point is this, keeping that true north, man, you get so fast that noise can get a hold of you.
And it's just being in tune with your body, whether it's physically, mentally, spiritually, whatever. It's just taking time to get in tune with your body. And you know what helps me do that? I'll be honest with you. Surfing.
That's your
surfing and fishing. Unless I'm with a bunch of people.
I did see some photos. You're a waterman.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
You know what? That's another
super
part
addictive.
It's what also I think is a common denominator amongst good folk. Just get in the water, be near the water.
Exactly.
Sorry, I'm biased.
Well, you know that they put surfing in the Book of Religions.
No way.
Yeah, it's went back maybe 10 years. It's got such a strong spirituality factor that they consider religion.
Like you said, it's an independent. It's all up to you.
Yep. It gives you time to just kind of find your zen too. I mean, the energies. You got waves, and you got the sounds, you got the light. You got. You'll
realize how out of shape you are.
That too.
People think it's all fun and games. I've only done it less than 5 times. It's not my scene. But Carla Klein was sitting in this chair the other day right before we left for that gala thing, and she goes, "As long as I can play or surf to some capacity, that's her piece." Meaning, because as we're getting older, obviously things are getting hard. It's getting harder to keep that 6-pack, that jazz, and we're realizing it. Not you. You're in great shape.
Surfing will help that.
But surfing keeps them people. it just keeps you. It's a spiritual thing, isn't it?
It is, man.
Being out there in that water.
I don't know. I get such a release. Even I can catch one wave. You know, as long as I get one wave. Now, if I don't get any waves, I'll get kind of pissed. But as long as I get one good wave, water. But no, as long as I get one good wave, turn. You know, I come out of the water feeling like a different person. You know.
There's a few good folk out that I know that aren't even Flagler Beach based that don't like they're not in the water. And there's this guy that I don't go to Publix very often. I'm spoiled. My wife does that. And I was in there not too long ago, and this guy that works, he's in the fish department at this local Publix. Dude, I've never not seen him with a smile on his face.
That's awesome.
And after knowing him for a handful of years now, his rhythm is he'll ask me, he goes, did you get baptized today? And I'm like, I love you, man. Because that's his rhythm. He makes it a point every day to get out there. Even in the brittle cold, he has a wetsuit. I think he's a surfer dude too, though. So it's not just once it gets like this, I'm guilty, dude. I don't just go in I can't. Yeah. I don't have the cojones.
The water's actually pretty warm out there.
It is, yeah. I try to dip. I went in the other day and I'm like, it's just getting that. Now, don't get me wrong. If I see a whale or something, I don't go after the whale, but I love trying to hear them. So I'll go in there. You ever done that? I'm sure you. Yeah.
You know, I haven't. There was just some right whales out here the other day. I haven't seen any whales in Flagler County yet. I've missed it every time.
You know, I just saw them for the first time, I think last year. And I've been here my whole life. Not awesome. Flagler based. I've been here just about 10.
That's got to be humbling, man. Seeing big old whales.
Man, it's so cool. Of course, it's nothing like what the drones see. You know, all these people throwing drone video out there. And people go out to the beach like, I can't say it. I'm like, well,
that little splash of water a half a mile out. Yeah, that's like the whale.
That black log that you saw for 37 seconds. But it is, we were able to actually see them. We did a trip to Hawaii and saw them.
Oh, awesome.
And just being able to, it is a magical thing. But once again, everything, you know, I tell people
you have to be able to you have to appreciate it though for it to be magical.
True. I guess it's a good point. Sure.
My wife's a little different in that aspect. Yeah. Like she loves her dogs thing. She's got a lot of things that makes her very happy.
You want to talk Pup Town?
We should definitely talk Pup Town.
So I've known of the Pup Town thingy online for quite some time. By the way, I was going to tell you this. Anything that you guys need digitally is at no cost. I donate all of my resources. Not that it looks like she even needs any help. She's done a phenomenal job at her branding. But if she ever needs help with anything, I donate all of my time to those animal rescue groups. Most of them here, some even further away. But I went on today for the very first time and actually went to see. So tell me about what this. So this is your wife's.
Yeah, she started a dog rescue
passion / burden.
Yeah, she was actually she was rescuing a lot of dogs through another rescue.
Okay.
It went on for 2 years where we were fostering dogs, we were finding homes, yada yada. She was finding dogs that needed rescue. She was getting them through her rescue, yada yada. There was a point in time where they just weren't quite seeing eye to eye with the dogs that were being brought in.
That always happens.
My wife, they were bringing in aggressive dogs.
Okay.
And they wanted to use shock collars, and shock collars really used very short term, temporarily to teach the dog.
Right.
It's not long term. You leave it on and shock them every time they do something. That's not what they're for.
Right.
It got to a point where I think they were giving fosters these shock collars with aggressive dogs. Wow. And it's like, dude, you know the kind of liability that there is for that.
Right.
You know, granted, everyone signs a waiver, but I still don't need someone getting bit by an aggressive dog while they're wearing a shock collar. Right. So, my wife effectively, there was some other stuff, but my wife effectively started her own foster.
Amazing. How long has it been now?
Not that long, less than 6 months. I think maybe November.
Then golly, she's doing a really good job because it's been pinging on my radar.
Yeah, she's blowing up. Her, dude. She's out there doing her thing. She was actually up this morning. She was in Jacksonville this morning, seeing one of my clients, North Florida School of Special Education.
Okay.
I have a simple plan up there. They have Berry Good Farms. They actually.
What's that mean?
This is
real berries?
No, they actually they bake dog biscuits. This is like kind of special education school. Kids with disabilities.
I see. So they're giving them something.
And they're giving them this outlet. And they're going and they're baking dog biscuits. So my wife was up there this morning trying to start a little partnership. Like, how can I buy dog biscuits from these kids? Because this is awesome, right? So she just worked really hard, networking, getting in front of these people, and whether it's marketing people or.
So that husky in the photo
that's our dog. That was our one.
I'm not just saying this. Literally, that photo could be used for like a mat. I was like, I've never used. You're okay that I had the family in it?
Of course,
I was like, it was on Facebook.
Absolutely.
But what a beautiful family! What a gorgeous shot. So that husky.
We actually that was a photo shoot for Flagler Parent Magazine.
Oh, go figure.
Yeah.
So it's
we're
perfect.
on the cover of their January.
Are huskies? What I hear about are they very vocal?
This one isn't. Most of them are. I'd say yes. In general, huskies talk to you a lot. Polar likes to just push you with his paw when he wants to say something. He'll come up, you'll feel him tapping on you with his paw. It's really
like,
cute.
yo, what it is, bro.
And then he loves hugs. He hears reggae music and he'll start he'll get so excited if my kids are dancing and we start dancing, he'll get excited. He'll go conga line. He'll put his paws up on you. He'll want to dance. It's
How old is he?
Awesome. He's only 2.5
months.
Yeah, or years old.
Oh, I was gonna say, he's a baby.
Yeah, he's still a puppy. Most of our dogs are still puppies. Our first rescue ever.
4.
We have 5. And we have 3
Don't you have
fosters
2
at our
kids?
house and 2 kids, 75-gallon fish tank, a pig, a hamster. What else?
We're
talking about getting goats. That's not happening.
yeah, right. You say that
They
now.
wind up on my car, man. I don't want those.
People are goat frenzy.
Dude, they're cute.
Goats on TikTok, man. That's
Pygmy goats.
If you
know what's even cuter? Have you ever seen a mini cow?
No, I've heard of. I don't think I've ever. They're actually really mini. That's not.
Oh no,
biological.
it's a shrunken down cow that's like this big. It's so cute.
They are tender loving animals.
Yeah.
I know all the videos I see of like people dealing with like their home cows. They're not like dumb meat product.
I know, and the more I go through this, the
dude.
less I could eat meat, man. I like hardly eat bacon anymore. We rescued a pig.
Oh
and,
no, I shouldn't tell you this tonight because I think I was going to try that carnivore diet. That of course I'm on that trend. I love Rogan. Like Rogan could be like, all right, everybody,
crazy.
He's just so awesome. He's like my idol. And he's been doing this carnivore diet. So I run it by my dietitian, the missus. I'm like, can you do this for me? Because I don't know what to do. So she's looking into it. But there's a bunch of like, it actually may not be that great if you're not doing a bunch of other things to supplement, like blah, blah, blah. And I'm not good at any of that. But anyways, yeah, it's tough the more we fall in love with these aminals.
I know.
You know, have you done them? I just watched this little mini doc on this plant-based type of food. Like almost every fast food chain has their own version.
Now, yeah.
Have you gotten into that?
My wife was vegan for
4
years,
wow.
3.5 years. She did it for a long time. She's slowly starting to eat chicken again.
It's tough to really be one thing of anything.
Yeah,
and to be a human because you're I've noticed we probably. I'm not trying to sound like a pompous prick here, but like I don't really eat. She does all the food, so like I'm not. If she doesn't bring it home, I wouldn't eat it. Now, if she brought home Chick-fil-A, I'd probably eat it. But my point is we probably only get like a fast food experience once every twice a year. And that's by consequence of landing somewhere,
right?
Nowhere to
running
eat.
Through the airport.
I am not a prick where I'm going to be like, I'm not going to eat that. Bet. I will eat 10, whatever they are. I will order them. And I have done that. You flying in Orlando, it's like midnight.
Right.
I'm going to wherever's open. I don't care. But that's tough where I don't have it really. It's not really in my diet to frequent it though. You don't look like you do. Are you a fast food guy?
No. I mean, sometimes Chick-fil-A.
Yeah.
But I literally am disgusted by the thought of McDonald's. Like, I don't know what it is. I
don't blame you.
I can't eat Wendy's. I can't eat Burger King.
I think we all did. You growing up like a kid?
Oh yeah, man. I had my 7th birthday party at McDonald's.
Yeah, 100%. I was my high school stint being here locally was I think it was McDonald's buy 2 for 2s or something. I had $5, get 4 of them. My buddy, his buddy, we go there. That was life.
Yeah, I used to love those KFC famous bowls.
See, I never got
the
that.
Chicken and
I wasn't a
KFC
corn guy. I didn't really have. You know what? I think it wasn't like accessible. I don't think for me it was more. I didn't have a car growing up. I was always in a friend's car until. Were you a high school kid with a car?
No, we didn't. We weren't allowed to have cars at the school,
you're at the
so we were we were locked in, man.
Why does that word? Petty sounds like it's such a bad representation of the school for being like. Is that an acronym that you're saying?
No, PEDDIE.
It's really called petty. Is it like someone super like? The grandfathers.
Yeah, I mean, I forget why it was named that, but
for someone that doesn't know, and I'm like petty school, he went to the
real petty. Oh. No doubt.
It's
I
like
know, it's kind of silly.
$1,000 million a month tuition, I'm sure.
It's kind of crazy. I think when I graduated, it was like $42,000 a year.
Golly.
Which is why I had to take out student loans for college because my parents were like, "Yeah, you're gonna worry about your own college now." I was like, "Yeah,
but you did it.
I did it. It was worth it.
Yeah,
well worth it.
You got a great story, but more important than your story, that story is exactly who you are. You've got a wonderful spirit about you, man.
Thank you,
very contagious. That meeting was really interesting, and to have, I was locking eyes with as many people as I could, but when I left there, I could sense that you were like ignited. I love Dragon Ball Z, so I could feel your Super Saiyan was like you were starting to like.
That's what I need, man. I like to surround myself with people like you because I get fired up really easily, and that's just what I need all the time. I mean, I'm a pretty fired up individual to begin with, but
you can lose it. I have them. I have the days where it's good to. You charged me up that day when you literally called me 2-3 days after. I think it was actually the next day.
Yeah.
Next morning, you were just like, You didn't even say it. You're just like, let's do this.
I forget how. Yeah, no, but I pretty much did. I was like, well, I don't care what it is, but I want whatever you got. Let's do it.
We call it like I said, Dragon Ball Z is a huge part of my history growing up, and there's this thing called fusion. So I just fused with you, bro. It's awesome. Where the two guys go, and we fused, and we became, But the cool thing is, man, and I think you're picking up it's like sincerely, and this as well. What probably attracts you and I and people like us together is that I sincerely will say, like, I don't really know what I'm doing. I'm just checking my compass on the regular, and if I know where if I know that there's a general north, then I will let you know where it is. But also don't forget, everyone's north is a little bit different.
Totally.
And I think there's a lot of people, especially in the growing scene of obviously digital content, there's a huge genre of folk that are out there saying, do as I do. It's funny because I sometimes think about going to the dark side because I have a lot of people, not a lot in one day, but accumulatively speaking, I have a good handful of folk that will be like, bro, you're like a Gary Vee. You should have like a thing. I was just going to
say, you remind me of Gary Vee.
Which is a compliment. It's great. But there's times where I'm like, screw it. I even told my wife the other day, I'm like, you should just record me when I'm just talking with people. Then maybe that will be my business now. But don't get me wrong. Maybe there's something there. There's some validity behind it.
I mean, dude, Gary Vee's got so many followers. And that's pretty much all he does.
But don't forget, too, there's always got to be a dark side. Like I actually heard him talk the other day. I don't watch most of his long platform stuff. I like his short little condensed clips.
Same.
And he was talking about literally less than a couple of years ago, he only had, meaning it's still a shit ton of money, but he had $1 million liquid. And he was talking about the struggles that he literally said, he goes, I almost about 5 years ago was going to try to buy a Super Bowl ad. Now, whether he's telling the truth too is, I don't know, but if it's fact, he was trying to buy a Super Bowl ad. He had $1 million liquid, but what the networks don't tell you is that when you do a commercial for $1 million or $2 million, that you have to sign on for $20 million of ongoing. So he didn't know that at that point. So he said, but the commercial was literally just going to be him saying, hi, everybody, I'm Gary Vee. Here's my handle. I will literally answer every one of your questions or concerns. I just want to know you. Like something so sincere. That I like about him.
Yeah.
And how you make money off
that.
He's
so transparent.
Yeah, man.
I like anybody who's transparent. Even if I don't like what they have to say, when they're transparent, I love the fact that they're going to say it. And
I think that's what you probably liked about me in that meeting.
Exactly.
Dude, the two guys that were walking out of there, which since then I've been able to, it's funny, they're all like neighbors of mine. I knew I had told a person or two in that meeting, I says, I'm going to get some side eyes, 110%. And I'm used to that just because I'm not good at it. I mean, I guess I'm getting better at just being me, but I'm not good at, like, that was tough to be at that gala, be honest with you a little bit, just because I saw the people that actually are faking it. Like it isn't about, I went to one of those one time back, and I told my wife this, and I shouldn't think about what had happened that wasn't good, but I am a human. The last time I was on that property, the Hammock Beach Resort, bro, I was there and I saw this guy that I absolutely know. And if I knew his name, I'd blow him up because he really hurt me. I went up to him and he's just like some socialite guy, not like work here, just a guy that used to live on property. And I used to service this guy and I said, oh man, good to see you. How are you? He was holding his phone like this, bro. Didn't even put his hand out and was like, nah, I don't know you. And put his head back in his phone, not jokingly. And I was like, okay, son. All right.
Well, that'll ruffle my feathers, man. Woo, at least take 5 seconds. If you don't know this guy, still shake his hand.
And don't get me wrong, to the nines, and once again, looking like the nines doesn't mean that but if you look like that, but you don't have as good as a heart,
screw that guy, man.
Worthless to me. And if I saw him to this day, I would literally say, how much do you not sleep? Because I know he's not. And I wouldn't wish it on anybody, but don't treat people that way. And here he is. He has no clue who and what I have and what I've accomplished. Irregardless of fiscal, it's my sleep factor, son. Like I'm sleeping. I don't owe anyone nothing. And here he was, had the I don't know you. And I'm like, what? So that genre.
We're going to have to sidebar on this because I feel like I'm getting, this will be off
no,
air,
go
because I feel like I might know this guy because I'm getting like ESP from you right now.
No, I wish I could. I would literally, as effed up as it is, I almost would say Bobby Smith. I would just say his name. He was a guy that lived on property there. Wasn't a socialite here. I would literally, I knew his look, I knew his feel. He would probably have been he was like a retired something super wealthy, maybe I don't know what it was, but I used to see him every day. Every day. I basically wiped his ass, you know what it's like to work on a property where you're the concierge for guests and live in property. Those guys are sometimes, now don't get me wrong, 99% of the general person that was living there was amazing because they're real. Like it wasn't fake. It wasn't the people
there
checking
are some
in.
great members up there, man.
Yeah,
really cool.
Great people. So but
there's always the small handful, man. There's always a percentage of people who are just gonna be total pricks.
It's like, bro, I don't care about what you think you are. Like that just.
Well, here's when I was out in Utah, man. One of my buddies, Brad King, he's awesome dude. But he was in Dave Grohl. You know, Dave Grohl is from the Foo Fighters.
Oh, okay. I like
this
that
is Sundance
guy.
Film Festival.
He's always letting people on stage and hang out.
He's cool, man. And especially for who he is.
Right.
He doesn't need to be cool. You know, he doesn't need to be cool to his people. But long story short, I wasn't invited to this. It was a Kettle One party that he was throwing during Sundance, this private event. And my buddy Brad was in there. And I'm texting with him. He's like, hey, you know, come down here. Come to Dave Grohl's party. I was like, man, I didn't get the invite. Like, I'm like, you know, the youngest guy. I'm like standing out front, being all sketchy, looking around, like just bouncers stand there. And here comes Brad, comes walking out. He's like, oh yeah, he's with me. Brings me on in. I remember I'm taking shots with like Brad, Dave Grohl, man. Right. Like straight up coolest guy. It's his party. He's got hundreds of people there. He probably knows everybody. Right. Doesn't know me, but he buddied up to me. We took some shots and hung out for 10 minutes and chatted about Park City. You know, it wasn't like, oh my God, Dave Grohl, I love the Foo Fighters. Or he wasn't like, you know, pompous. He just gave me the time.
A real dude.
And you know, this is just, I don't know how many years later, but I still talk about that. That guy did not have to be cool like that.
You know what, though? That story is what, once again, I think ignites the love factor and keeping that. It's contagious, man. It really is. I told my wife this the other day. I had someone give me probably the best compliment to prepare me for my own mortality. Like I'm ready to accomplish someone, a grown ass man called me. I'm talking like 50 plus, all grown up. Probably not that much, not too imprintable at that point. Like who you are is what you are. He calls me and says, hey man, I just want you to know I did X because for this family. And I said, damn, an X variable was not like taking him out to dinner. It was a very nice thing that he did for this family. And I'm like, dude, thanks for that alone. I was happy just because I'm like, appreciate you. It's such positive, like, hell yeah. With no recognition either. You know, he did it ninja status.
Awesome.
Then he follows up with, by the way, do you want to know why I did it? And I was like, yeah, sure. And he goes, because I know you would have. Bro, I was like, I'm done. I could call it a wrap. I'm over. The show's done. I'm out of here. I'm moving to the Virgin Islands.
I kind of got the chills.
Yeah, man.
That's like, powerful.
She was home with me while it happened. And I thought, if something's, and I'm not trying to sit here and play Mr. Gandhi. I have my own life. I have my own issues and shit I got to deal with. But let me tell you something. If I was talking about this to Tommy at the board shack the other day, and if you don't talk with him and you don't know who he is, you know Tommy at the board shack? Yeah, cool. Love that man. I can't not hug him at least 3 times in one sitting. And I told him we were exchanging this, not just we weren't preaching it. We practiced. The fact of the matter is, man, people just when you're jiving on a negative. He was teaching me this. Or this is his hypothesis, which I love. He doesn't like preach it. He's like, you know, when you get stuck in that negative, like when you're just negative Nancy.
And it's easy to get stuck there.
So easy. We all get stuck that hour, right? Like, how's your hour? That all of a sudden becomes, that's just like that. It's that harmony of shit that just starts to come around. And before you know it, you blew off that one person that maybe needed you, or you didn't get that client because you had the puss face.
Totally.
And you're a dick. And it's like, nah, man, just chill. And once again, there's not always money on the other side. That's the flip side. A lot of people that I think are preaching online that can get there and Gary doesn't really do that, which I like about Gary Vee. But there's a lot more other people going like, you know, do 5 jumping jacks and tell people 5 times you love them. You're going to make $1 million by the close of next month. And that's not it at all. You're actually probably going to.
Everybody's got a different formula.
Right. Yeah. But the cool thing is that once you give, you know, Zig Ziglar and all those great guys, it's like literally giving. And people are starting to realize it. And you probably you have that DNA about you. And also, too, what your wife's doing for the community with those dogs, fantastic. Labor of love.
That helps me, dude. That helps me just as much as it's helping my children.
Yeah.
Because it's hard work, man. There's a lot
of poop.
Crazy. There are 3 puppies that are 4-week-old puppies in our garage right now. Yeah, talk about a lot of poop. Yeah, it's
literally
crazy.
And figuratively.
Yeah.
And you know what I think is happening? And I told you this when we chatted the other day. What's helping me make these shifts in business, and it's when I meet with people that have been in business and I literally boil down what I'm doing and I say, it's just web. Remember I told you that? Mm-hmm. And I also say, I know this is just as shitty as it is good. It's just as much of a burden as it is a business. I don't get into the hoopla of like, this is my logo. This is my business name. I'm thinking, you ready this time next year to buckle down, because I'm going to still be here if I'm alive, but I'm going to be able to look you dead in the eye. And the services that I'm rendering you are futile if you don't even enjoy it anyways. If you're not actually on the flip side, I can't make people like you. I can't make people continue to work with you. I just can get you seen. That's the only thing I specialize in, getting people seen and amplifying your message. That is it. And if your message sucks or you don't even like what you're doing, that's a whole nother issue in itself.
Yep.
Isn't it funny?
No doubt. Well, man, I mean, touching on this and something you talked about earlier, it's kind of the reason that I wound up in financial services. I used to help people spend their money. You said, people save a long time. They come check in at this hotel. And then I'd help them spend all this money, and I'd point them at the restaurant that was real expensive, and I'd send them over to a gift shop to spend money and tell them about the spa that was real expensive. You guys should get couples massages. You want me to book it now? Right. Make people bankrupt and not even know it.
Right.
But now I could actually help people accumulate assets and build money for retirement and be able to sleep at night knowing that they have these plans in place. Yep. And it's much more fulfilling to me. I enjoyed hospitality, don't get me wrong, but it was more selfishly enjoyed it because I was around a lot of fun people and young people and this, and, I could live vicariously through all these people that are checking into the hotel and partying at the pool deck. But there's only so much of that you can,
it's a slippery slope. Isn't it funny too? How many people's cards are declined in that industry?
It's sad.
The guy comes rolling in with the BMW 7 Series. It's got the, black on black on black.
Exactly.
And he's rolling out. Wife is blinging. I think they call it dripping now.
Dripping.
Have you heard that?
No, I have not.
That's what the young folk are calling it. So if you're blinging or you're like fancy, you're dripping.
Dripping swag.
So you're just dripping it. I don't think you can say swag. That's boomer stuff.
Is that word not used
I'm just
anymore?
going on what I hear. I think dripping is the new, like, bro, you're so
I don't keep up with the lingo.
I know. I'm trying to. I still play soccer with a lot of these young kids, and I hear it.
Oh, okay.
No, I don't use it in my vernacular, but it's funny when I do. I'm actually having fun with it. I'm like, bro, you so drippy. But yeah, you go to check them in, and they know. They already know. And the only reason I'm even talking about that is that it yet again teaches you that you have no idea what the hell's going on in people's lives.
Oh, man, people fake it so hard anymore, especially with social media. Mm-hmm. It's unbelievable.
I don't know what your travels and life experiences have been, but here's my hypothesis on people that have it are the ones that smell. Literally, the ones that have had the most are the ones that usually look the dirtiest. Not purposefully,
sure,
but because of lack of care. Now, they're not obnoxious, and they're not like they're not the guy in the Charlie Brown video. They're not dripping dirt. They're just don't care, And I'm not saying they don't have probably a $10 million suit in their closet, but it's when they choose to bust it out. It's reflective of what the environment is. It's not just us. And I bet you would see it, and that's what triggered slow. It was hard to pay attention to those people, though.
Totally.
They're the ones that just walk by, a little more quiet.
Because they don't care about being flashy, man. They just want to fly under the radar. Don't bother me. I got my stuff,
right? And there is nothing wrong too. Like I said, one of my goals is still, being my name Chenzo, and that there's an Enzo Ferrari. I have to have one. But the whole flip side is like, maybe I would wear a disguise now, whereas like the old me would have been like, look,
check it out.
And now all of a sudden, it's like Biggie said, more money, more problems. Now I got a target on my head. People want to steal, kill. Now it's like, if you do make it there, keep it, But dude, so let's do this. I know you're going to be very careful with how you let people, like, you can't say, are you allowed to say money? Can you say?
I could say money.
Money. I'm so glad you did that IRA thing. That was legitimately like a question from me.
No, I appreciate that, because it's started a lot of dialogue. You see how many people commented and this and that. Yeah, it's been pretty crazy.
And you already had it. See, it was just
dialing it in.
Can we talk about that for just a second?
Sure thing.
Because I didn't even get to talk about you, because this is the beautiful part of the show. I had asked Joe about the IRAs had changed from last year to this year. It's now a $6,000 minimum or maximum, and you can do it per person.
Per person, not per account. So it's going to be, if you have 6 different IRAs, you could put $1,000 per IRA. You could put $6,000 in one of them. And it's going to be your total IRA contributions.
Oh, I can't put both in one?
Say that again?
So I can if I have an IRA account, I can't put hers and mine in the same.
You have to do your contribution.
Is that changed from last year?
Nope.
You sure? Yes, of course you're sure. I know you're sure. Sorry. I'm like, wait a minute. Oh, you know what? Because I don't think I did do her last year. That's why.
And you might have made a contribution into her account for her, which not a big deal.
Boom.
Yeah.
So this is very important. So you can talk like this?
Yeah, I mean, more about the regulations and what is allowed and not allowed. I just can't make any investment recommendations or any of that kind of stuff.
We don't care if you do it, people.
Yeah.
But all right, so now it's gone to 6,000 per person household. Is it how do they describe that in the industry?
Just per social security number. I mean, it's per person.
Okay, and then that has to go to an actual isolated account through. Okay,
it's got to be a qualified setup as a qualified retirement account.
All right, and now obviously you are allowed to say that these are things that you.
Yes.
Do.
Yep.
Go figure. Okay.
Sure. So, and obviously, I do a lot of personal planning.
Right.
There's IRAs and life insurance. And one of the biggest things that I do is help people retain their assets. Say, let's say you worked at a corporation for 5 years and you built up a little 401k over there and you changed jobs. One of my biggest things is I help people get that 401k out, open an IRA, and help manage it for them
without getting.
So they're not paying these fees and they have way more investment options. Because 401ks are amazing for many different ways.
Right.
Obviously, higher contribution maximums. You're getting matched from your employer. This, that, and the other thing. But that being said, you get a limited investment option. You get a menu.
Are you allowed to say? I hate asking for a keyword, so to speak. But are there some keywords right now for you that if someone thinks of it or hears of it, you would want them to think of you?
Yeah, I mean, honestly, two things. Anyone leaving, transferring jobs, it's very easy. That's a great conversation for me to have. People are usually losing benefits and 90% of the time have some kind of retirement account at the business. So I can help address those two things. I could help, hey, look, let's see what benefits you lost. I could set you up with somebody who can either help you get those benefits or I can help you get them.
Interesting.
And then on the rollover side, so making sure that these people still have access and have eyes on their account. You have no idea how many people I run into. And we're working on a rollover from their last job. And they're like, oh, yeah, I have 3 other ones from other jobs that are sitting out there. It's like, for a lot of different reasons, it's right. It's like, it just makes sense to consolidate. Hey, let's say you have a change. Let's say you get married. Okay. Right. Now you want to put your wife as a beneficiary on your accounts. You're going to do 4 beneficiary forms to do that now. Right. Or if you want to make an investment change, you got to do it 4 times to amongst 4 different accounts. Where if you just consolidate those. Interesting. It's very, it just makes people sleep at night.
So that's something that you're once again, you're good at.
Definitely.
Okay.
My number one bread and butter though is corporate retirement planning.
Okay.
Being in front of groups, it's helping plan sponsors offer group retirement plans to their employees, at a cost-effective, in a cost-effective way. Right. And making sure that, we really pride ourselves on our service because everyone can mess with fees. You can win plans on fees, you can lose plans on fees. Okay. But when it comes to service, it's really our differentiating factor.
Meaning I call you answer?
I'm on site for employees. Wow. Employees know who their advisor is.
That kind of thing.
Where again, you have no idea how many times I work with employees and I'm like, well, who's your advisor? Who's the plan with? What's the record keeper? I don't know. Who's the advisor? Have you ever spoken to the advisor? Right. Oh, he came once a couple of years ago and did a meeting. And haven't seen him in 2 years. Wow. It's like, well, man, no wonder you're sitting how you're sitting and you don't have your contributions, getting the full, getting all your free monies. And yeah, of course you didn't get your beneficiary updated because you don't have somebody to do that with. But us and my firm and myself really pride ourselves on our service. And
so those two out of all the hats that you do wear, those right there are kind of your favorite that you just seem to.
I love being in front. I love doing education meetings in front of groups.
Do you have any? Do you have any seminars or something that you're coming up soon?
We do seminars. I have none scheduled as of right now. Okay. Throughout this transition, it's been.
Can you branch off? Can you do your own if you wanted to?
Oh yeah,
bro, you should.
I've done some seminars.
With your tenacity and love and background.
Yeah, we do a lot of. We bring in CPAs. We do taxes. Okay. We say we have the CPA talk about tax prep, and then we come in and we tell them, we show them the accounts they could use to keep their taxes down. So I have to be real careful because a lot of the stuff we do directly affects their taxes, but we're not tax professionals, so we can't talk about the tax part.
Man, your dance is like,
oh man, it's crazy.
Like I said, I got a buddy of mine who's in your arena, and dude, it's like he was very, not paranoid, but very conscious of can't say bomb on that airplane.
No, yeah, dude, totally. And on top of that, every year is different regulation changes.
Yeah, I mean, even last year with the IRA thing, that's totally different. Wasn't it 5,500 last year?
It was 5,500. Well, 2 years ago it was 5,518. It went to 6,019 and stayed the same. But
was that 6,000 last year? I didn't even know that.
Yeah.
Now, when's the deadline for the IRA?
As long as your IRA is open from the prior year. So like, let's say we tightened up some paperwork and opened an account with $0 in December 31st of 19, you have until you file your taxes to make that contribution. So if you file an extension, as long as your account was open in 19.
When is the tax cutoff to file?
April. So April
15th?
Yeah, 15th, I think is the date. But if you defer
get
your
the
taxes,
extension. But still, that's plenty of time to get. It's not hard to open up the thingy.
No.
Yeah.
Super simple.
So fascinating. But you do have to do it upon filing.
Yeah. So if you so that's the two things. You need to make sure the account was open year prior. So if someone wants to do a prior year contribution right now and does not have an IRA open, they can't do it. Wow. So if they opened it in 2020, they can't make a 2019 contribution. So even if you haven't filed your taxes yet.
That was like that last year?
Yeah, it's been like that. It's the same thing on the 401k side,
That's crazy. That whole world, man. That's why you guys are important.
Yeah. There's a lot of moving parts.
I love how the worlds of memes are getting better and bigger. And now that we're getting into tax season, these taxes are it's a crazy world out there.
Man, don't get me started on the IRS and taxes,
bro.
Dude. The fact that they require you to calculate what you owe.
All right.
And you send a check in, and if it's wrong, they just tell you you're wrong. It's like, well, why don't you just tell me what the number is from the beginning, and you can save me all this time.
It is a very fascinating way. It is, isn't it?
I won't go much further into it, but
no.
I can't tell you how many times I just want to pull my hair out.
Yeah, the whole dude. That's why people like you are in business, man. It's I don't want to say scary, but there's a lot of gray area, man.
Oh yeah.
I sit down with a lot of business owners, and a lot of those business owners want to see me succeed, and it's nice, but I am not Mr. Businessman. And sometimes they're like, if you build a pyramid, you could put all your stuff in the pyramid and no one will ever know where it is. And it's like, I guess, but it's like, I don't want to build the pyramid, and I get scared, and then the Bermuda Triangle's around there, but you get my point. There's this this, and I'm just like, I'm just going to be simple, man.
There's a lot of really simple things you could do. I mean, it doesn't have to be complicated.
True. You're right.
It's only as complicated as you want to make it. I'll be honest, because like we said, it's just money.
It is. Well, that should be, dude, that's been me for 2020, man, is like, I'm telling people it's just web. So meaning like, that's all I know. That's what I'm good at. And don't worry about it. If you're going to hire me to do your web, don't freak out. Don't be pragmatic and start sending me your logo for next month. I already know. I got you.
And if you want to do that, you can just go ahead and do it yourself.
Exactly. Which I do have a lot, man. I had 2 meetings last week, and very similar. They just sat here and they were like this and that. And when I know someone has the tenacity, the time, and the know-how to at least get this, and I don't think they need B, bro, I'll be here if I'm alive this time next year, and you can come back. And they love it. I got 2 texts today, and the guy's like, hey man, I did what you did. I think I'm good. I said, you're absolutely good until further notice.
And you know for a fact, you're giving people that kind of advice when they do have the service need, they're going to come to you.
Yeah.
Because you actually genuinely help them on the front end.
Yep.
You could have very easily tried to sell them some
100%,
some marketing,
a logo for $7.
Yeah. And it might have been great for them, but at the end of the day, it's much more meaningful to give them what they
just
need.
like I did with you, man. Like, I mean, I love that you appreciated just my passion for life, that I would do like I said, when I said, just do these videos, you know how happy I was when you did it? You're the 3rd person recently that are doing them. And once again, I don't sell that advice on like, and your quarter should be, like you should have incremental revenue coming in within 10 minutes. It's none of that. You may not see anything come in, but the what you're feeling it. Can't you?
Let's be honest,
your
man.
comments were,
dude, 100%. And you hit the nail on the head, because especially in the business that I'm in, I work in the corporate retirement plan space, and I work with ultra affluent individuals for the most part. I have some of these small families, young business owners, like all kinds of stuff, but 90% of my clientele isn't on my Facebook, right? So that was the question. It's like, well, what are you doing? I had people ask me, what are you doing? Are you getting business out of it? I said, I'm not doing it to get business out of it. I'm doing it for just brand exposure, for people to remember that I'm here, for people to see my face, because I've seen plenty of these guys do this. And I mean, even if I wasn't in the market for a car, or if I was in the market for a mortgage, or I'm not shopping real estate, those are the 3 areas I always see these guys doing these podcasts, and they're getting so many hits. Real estate, we got mortgage people, and then I had this car salesman in St. Augustine who, this guy wound up building a huge brand. He wound up writing 2 books ever since he started this podcast. Yeah, it's amazing.
Wow.
Yeah, pretty cool. And his podcast started him standing on the used car lot talking about football.
And that was it.
And he started getting following, and he kept doing it, and then people started commenting, and then he just built his brand.
That's what Gary Vee's preaching, man. It's one of the few things that I hone in on is when I love when people are asking him questions and they're puppy faced, like, help. And he's like, yo, you got it.
Right.
What do you do? And they're like, I like tea. And talk about tea. Talking about tea.
Well, it's encouragement. It's positive reinforcement. It's like, who cares what you talk about? You do it. You're doing great. Do it, and you do it great, And
I've noticed too, slowly but surely, people are getting the memo, and that is, look, I do believe the content game has changed, and it's becoming a quantity thing. And it's becoming an argumentative standpoint, because some people are like, what about the quality factor? Like still not about just recording yourself doing 5 jumping jacks if you're not a fitness coach. That I get. There still needs to be a substance to the video, but it doesn't need to have a $30,000 production camera anymore. That's my belief. It's more make 30,000 videos.
I've gotten so I know we talked about this, but just to say this out loud on air, because I think it's fascinating to me. I have a very formal business page, and it looks great, and it has great content.
Yep.
I mean, it's got awesome stuff.
Activity.
But it's all formal.
Right.
Market, market news or political news or this, that. Man, I get a little bit of traffic, but maybe like 5% of the traffic that I've gotten on these podcast videos on my personal page about the Rolex 24-hour or whatever,
It shows that you're a human being. And you know what also too, even if it's only your mother that says you look good, keep it up, Joe, it's good.
Oh, she did. Did you see it?
I did. and it doesn't matter. Like, that's what it's all about, is, once again, you know what it does? And I'll close on this on that particular segment, because it can I know people are like, okay, fine, I'll do it. But point is, it's therapeutic, man.
It actually is.
Most people that come on the show too, they'll leave, and like 2, 3, 4 days later, they'll call or text, and they'll say like, yeah, I feel good. Like, I just feel good.
I feel good right now, man. I feel really good.
That means the world to me, because we know we're live. We know people are watching. We don't know who is. The format's not about look at how many views and look how many people. I don't, even though I'm fascinated by it. It stinks. You don't even know who is watching live once you disconnect anyways. Okay. So we'll never know.
I don't care, man. This is for us. Even if nobody watches,
I would have did this with or without the show, but what's happening is the byproduct and an extension of my lifestyle. And that's, I think, the most fascinating thing, is that thank God, literally thank God, you're being able to supply for your family by an extension of something that you're good at, that you're enjoying, and it was carved out of following your true north. It's really fascinating. You didn't read some book and then just do it.
I didn't force anything. Right, really.
You didn't force it.
And I felt like the star showed me where I should be.
Yeah,
honestly. And my wife feels the same. I mean, we definitely followed our hearts with every decision that we made.
And you know what I love about it too, man, is that I wish you, and I say this out of pure love, I wish you success in your north, always to be pointing, because it will always, there's always, who knows where we're going to be this time 10 years from now. I joke around sometimes, if the internet's on existence, I don't know what I'll be doing, that's, so there, I can be an anxious idiot, but then also I keep thinking that I've made it this far by listening to that compass, following, no matter where it was. And just like with you, when I was in my own island status, I didn't need anything. And I think that's probably one of the very important messages, and you probably agree with me, is that whoever you are in life, learn how to live with nothing. People are important, and metaphysical situations are very important, but anything you got, your jobs, your this. Actually, one of the few commercials I did see in the Super Bowl was they were using the dramatic effect of an older guy walking out of an office holding a box as if he was being fired from his institution. And they were saying this was one of his worst days of his life. Well, the commercial did a good job at flipping it within 30 seconds that he was actually moving into his own job. And that was a really cool way of showing that, hey, no matter who you are, you're not secure. No matter how much money you got,
100%.
You ain't secure. It's not yours, and it's over in 2 seconds. So enjoy what you got now. And I think that's the paradigm shift. Yeah.
Definitely, man. I saw it when I was in the islands. I see it. There's a couple guys in St. Augustine where I can't see myself being comfortable and happy with the way that they live their lives, because I'm very success driven. I feel like I need something to show. But some of the happiest, most content people I've ever met in my life don't own anything except a pair of board shorts, a surfboard, and a straw hat. I am not kidding.
But see, I love the way you even deliver that, is that you're not preaching that way, one way or the other is better or worse. Everyone has their own flavor. But it is important to know whether you need the board shorts or you want the Enzo Ferrari. Once again, I think it's important that it doesn't own you. And it sounds so cliche, but Fight Club knows, man.
Totally, man.
It knew it. I'm so glad I grew up in the Fight Club era with that statement. You are not your khakis. You are not your job. You are not any of that. And it sounds so fun and games, but it's really true. You're none of it. You know, it's like,
mental note. I need to watch that movie again. What a good movie.
Listen, when I need a recharge, well, throw on some fight. You know, one of the best scenes that I just saw a guest speaker use in his delivery was, he said, do you remember the scene where, I'll use their celebrity names, Brad Pitt's holding Edward Norton's hand, and obviously we know that it was his conscious, which just makes it so much crazier. Man, yeah. So Brad Pitt's holding Edward Norton's hand across the table, and he pours the borat acid or the lime or whatever
on the back of his hand,
and he's burning, and Brad's like, look at me, look at me, look at me, and the whole time he's basically saying, like, let it burn. Just let this burn. So this particular guest, this speaker is using the story to teach you that we know, those that have watched Fight Club know that Brad's not even there.
Right.
But what does Edward Norton do in the first 10 seconds is he's fighting it. He wants to pour the water over it and end the pain. Then his subconscious, AKA Brad, ends up saying, let it burn. Let it burn, man. Life is not, it's not cornflakes. It hurts. Life is a vibe. You know what I think love really truly is that without, you know, like, don't get me wrong, I'm a big spiritual believer in that. I think love there's a beautiful agape love, and unconditional love is actually the true epitome of love. But how crazy would it be tomorrow that I have to wake up and my wife not be alive? That's love. The lack thereof is, how do you now pursue something that you want and need so bad? When want and need is combined into one, I think that's the supernova effect, because here in life, as we're adulting, there's two types of people at this point. There are people that want you, and there are people that need you. Those share those in common: children, significant others, dogs, when it's literally the same. That's that supernova effect, and call it whatever you may want. But that's what I think changes, and that's the real thing. So you got to be really careful with the wants. The people that want you are the good ones, in my opinion. People that want you are like, I want you. I don't need you. But a lot of people don't like to hear that. What do you mean you don't need me? You know, like the word pompous person. What do you mean you don't need me? I said you want to hang out for tomorrow at noon. Well, I don't want to. And then people get, but that's the thing, man. Life will burn, and let it burn. And then there's a process of healing how bad it does. But you know what the fascinating thing is, I'll close on this, that scar, that burn becomes part of who it was. You remember now to either steer clear of, or if it burns again, it's going to happen. You know, how good is your hour? I don't know. Does that make sense?
Absolutely, man.
But you got that, man. I don't know. So here's what we'll do. If people want to get in touch with you, obviously I tagged you on here. What are we going? I know we have like a brand. Are we going with something yet? Are we?
Yeah, I mean, I'm just doing it, man.
I love it. Well, like I said, I think it's going to happen. I told you I changed my slogan and my logo like monthly. So the only thing that stayed constant was I stick with like Chenzo, like my a nickname.
Well, I messed with a couple of different.
Hit me.
It was Jomo Money, which I liked.
Okay.
But apparently someone else has been using that handle. I was like, what?
Damn.
No, but so I messed with a whole bunch of them.
Okay.
The one that you came up with for me.
What did I do? Which one? Because it was involuntary. I just
Joe the Money Guy.
Joe Money Guy.
Joe the Money Guy was not used. You were the first person to tag that on Facebook if you go to the hashtag. So I went with it, man. All my videos are under Joe the Money Guy. And
I think it works, man. Because you know what I try to do for myself that I do with other people is, what are people going to say about you when they leave that conversation?
Oh, the Money Guy? Is that Joe the Money Guy?
They're not going to probably say, like, dude, my first business was a name that didn't even do any justice for who I was, what I was. It was a clothing business that had a logo using a pickle, so it was Pickle. And then Pickle turned into Pickle Consulting, blah, blah, blah. So my little story is, it didn't do anything. Imagine it's like, that's not the Pickle guy. You know, that's still Chen's. Like, so I went with, so that's, I think, Joe the Money Guy, until further notice.
Yeah, I think I'm riding with it.
I mean, that's what someone would say if I bumped into you at Publix and they said, like, who the hell was that cool guy? I'm like, it's Joe the Money Guy. I mean,
hell yeah.
Gotta call him. So
I like it. It's got a nice ring to it.
Until further notice, Joe the Money Guy. I tagged you on this. I don't think I put your business Facebook page. So we got a lot.
All good.
And correct me if I'm wrong, but if somebody did want to just call you and was too scared because of like, they don't want like the charge for a question, are you open just to chitty chat like me?
Oh man, 100%. That's like my favorite thing.
So if you
love that,
holler at
That's
them.
My friends, man. We sit around on beers and have beers at night,
Awesome.
and all we talk about is either money or the market or business.
And you don't invoice them.
No, never. Absolutely not. They bring the beer and then we have the discussions.
Awesome. So there is some type of commodity. Bring some liquid. But no, I think this is fantastic. So I appreciate you. Do you have something you want to cover?
Yeah. Can I just quickly talk about YPG events coming up?
For sure.
I know we didn't really get into that. We had all kinds of other fun stuff we were talking about. But I do sit on the board for the YPG, Flagler County Young Professionals Group.
Yep.
Great organization. We're really trying to grow. So definitely want to talk about getting more members. We want to have more members. So a couple events coming up. We do have our Kentucky Derby event Saturday, May 2nd.
That's a big one you guys do.
Yeah, it's really fun. It's a really good one. It's at, what the heck's it called? Crap.
Do you always change it? Or is
Grand Haven.
Grand Haven. Oh, I've been to that one before.
Grand Haven.
That's the fancy pants.
It's fancy, yeah.
Girls wear the hats.
Everyone gets all fancy.
We have a couple libations.
Couple
or 10.
Bunch
and now, okay, so that's what day?
That is May 2nd.
May 2nd. Oh, we got time.
Yeah, we have
Get your hats, ladies.
Before that, we have our putt crawl. Did you do our putt crawl last year?
I will be honest with you. I have crashed them. I need to do it the right way. But yes, all of your putt crawls, being that I'm here, I usually jump on Michael's golf cart and
perfect.
Throw some golf.
And I get first right to refusal on my golden lion tee. So you can catch me there with my feet in the sand, having cocktails, talking about finance for everybody that comes by. So
what day is this?
That is April 18th.
Okay, so
look at that, day before your birthday.
Yep, boom.
We're partying.
What day is my birthday this year?
I don't know. It's probably
what day is the 18th?
It's got to be a Saturday because if we don't do it on a Saturday,
no one can go. All right, so my birthday is on a Sunday. Wow. So the putt crawl 18th Saturday, April. Boom. What else we got? We have something else?
April 18th. It is a Saturday. Yep.
Boom shakalaka.
So 19th is Sunday. And I think that's it for now. But if anyone's interested in joining YPG, shoot me a message. You'll see, I think the YPG actually shared this podcast link. So
yeah, I did.
Get on the YPG.
Yep.
You know, we really want to, we're really trying to push membership. There's so many awesome young business owners around this town. We don't get enough activity in the YPG. We have some really great events. I mean, between the putt crawl, our event at Grand Haven for the Derby and the Beach Olympics, we get so many people. But sometimes these socials in between, you get a little light.
Well, let me tell you this, and I think it's great that we met because that was the catalyst of why we met. Was I went 100%. To that thing. I could tell you right now, if it helps anybody out there that doesn't have an understanding of it, which I didn't, the people that are on that board are literally people that you're friends with. I can guarantee you. I had no idea that, and that's not their fault nor mine. Just by lack of not getting out there.
I might have been the only person on the board you didn't know, right?
Literally, you and the guy sitting next to you, which I just became friends with the other day. We're starting to chitty chat. Yeah, Vinny. But my point is, listen, people. Like at the end of the day, I think one of the biggest things that the YPG is going through a metamorphosis stage right now is that you guys are getting more personable, and I think that that's what we're all looking for in general as a community, as business owners. So if you are looking to plug in, I was looking around that table of what was it, 12?
Yeah, I think 8 board members. Yeah,
was. I literally knew almost everyone by name, and they're all individuals. You guys all have a story. You're real, and you're just as much in the hustle as we all are. Oh, yeah. So I think what's many things that have come out of it, and correct me if I'm wrong, is just connecting with people that are a lot of noise going on, good and bad. And just because of wherever you succeeded and not, that's what I think is starting to culminate at this group. Is that kind of that's how I'm feeling?
100%. And I mean, we're trying to get more guys like you who have the energy. I mean, there's a couple of us on the board. I mean, our board has the spark, and we're trying to start the fire. It's going to happen. And I was honored, and I'm flattered that I'm finding a way to be able to help by not means of it being a sacrifice. Like it's in what I'm trying to do for you guys is just an extension of what I'm already doing. So I was honored to be called in to just try to help and bring a light to what seems to be dimly lit. So I really appreciate you guys. And we got the 2 new people on board now. Mm-hmm. So like I said, it's exciting. I'm excited where you guys are going. But most importantly, I don't get too excited about the businesses and acronyms of what they are. It's the people that are a part of it. And you're a huge asset now to my happiness, man. I really am. Appreciate that. I can't wait to see us grow. We're going to grow, and we're going to get older and gray, and we're going to get more. Hopefully we always be able to swim. Yeah. That's important, man. Even without, with bum knees and bum shoulders, I'll just float. But at least that hobby, we know that as old as you get, we can always swim. Definitely. So I appreciate you, man. Anything else? Did we do it? I think that's everything. I really appreciate the time, man. This was awesome. It's really great. Let's see if we stayed alive. Good luck. We did it. So lately I've been having good luck with people, man. Sometimes Facebook kicks us off just because it's like Facebook. But yeah, let's see. Come on. My phone must have rang like 8 times.
That's how it goes. Sometimes it's ringing because people be like, you got disconnected. But let's see. And don't forget, you got to sign this. This is my yearbook.
Cool.
Let's see. We're still, come on, baby.